join the HBCU family, you become part of the tradition of breaking barriers in your community, breaking ground in your career, and bringing it with everything you do. From how you look to how you move in the classroom, on the court, and on the field. That's why Academy Sports and Outdoors is proud to celebrate the HBCU legacy and all those to add to it in their own way.
We are exactly what you think. We are not at all what you think. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. General Motors, honored to sponsor the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
The SWAC, the premier athletic conference in the nation. A collection of schools rich in tradition, pride, and pettiness. Champions. We are the SWAC, building champions for life.
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool Your School. We're powered by purpose.
The SWAC, the premier athletic conference in the nation. A collection of schools rich in tradition, pride, and pedigree. Sacrifice, winning, allegiance, champions. We are the SWAC, building champions for life.
Followed by the defending champs, FAMU. How does that sit in Tallahassee right now? State, Jackson, Mississippi might be feeling away. A lot of high expectations every year. They're picked to finish third. Alabama A&M picked to finish fourth. They have 70.
On that side alone?
Yeah, you got Colsey. It's his first year at FAMU. We got a lot. The East is the year of second-year coaches.
Mm-hmm.
T.C. Taylor, second year. Coach Woody, second year. Coach Wade, second year. Connell Maynor is the papa of the SWAC now, going into his seventh year.
I think it's interesting, though, Alabama State, a lot of it is expected of Alabama State this year, and a lot of people are looking at, you have new coach at Florida A&M. This is TC second year. Alabama State with the experience in the coaching staff and a few more players there.
The context. What last year we were high on Texas Southern because Andrew
Body, and guess where he's going now?
Alabama State.
Alabama State. He is now the quarterback at Alabama State. He'll be here at SWAC Media Day as well. All right, we're going to go to the other side of the conference, the Western Division predicted order of finish, and on top, the Alcorn State University Braves.
Look at that, 112 votes. They got a brand new head coach in Cedric Thomas. Alcorn State, we'll have to see what they do, but people think they place the votes that they'll be the team to beat, followed by the team that won the division last year. It came down to the very last, the very last game of the year to figure that out. But Prairie View, always a contender. Grambling State, brand new head coach. Southern University, brand new head coach. Although Southern's coach is new, but boy, he has been around. Talk about Terrence Graves. You look at UAPB there and Texas Southern rounding out the Western Division predicted order of finish. And we talked about where the pressure would be in the East. The team that people think is the team to beat, Alabama State. And I think, Santoria, this will be a good time to talk to the man.
Absolutely. Eddie Robinson Jr., head coach at Alabama State. Coach, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Good morning. How you guys doing?
It's all good. And, look, you get the nod as the preseason favorite in the East, and I know you're like, hey, I always like to be kind of that person in the background because you can surprise some folks. But no surprise this year, you guys have a lot coming back.
Yeah, I think we're going to do a revote so we can finish third. So.
Come on, man. Come on.
So, but most coaches are going to say the same thing. It's not about the preseason, it's the postseason. Of course, it's our goal to win the SWAC championship like everybody else. And we feel like we've gotten better from last year, but we don't know how much better other teams have gotten. And that's why we play the games. And it's going to be a fun season. I think it's going to be a lot of parity, a lot of competitiveness in the conference, and that's what the fans want to see.
So you're known for your defense, obviously. But you've had good quarterbacks every year. You've had some turnover there, but you got Andrew Body, one of the most exciting quarterbacks. He comes to you, missed last year for the most part with an injury. What type of excitement, anticipation do you have with Body at quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, he did a really good job in the spring game, and I think the biggest thing about him, he's the leader off the field. I mean, he's the guy that's going to be first in the workouts. He's going to lead the sprints and that type of stuff. So, but then hopefully that convert to playing well on the field and convert to wins. And so we know defensively we've been pretty stout, and we need to do a little bit more on the offensive side of the ball. But it's not just the Andrew Body; it's the other guys that have to step up also. And we have some good returning players, some new offensive linemen. So we feel like we can improve in that area, and that's what we're looking forward to.
When you look at your team, what's one of the things in recruiting that you really paid attention to the most?
Linemen. Mm-hmm. I think that's the thing that just realistically we can't get those kids in the portal, not the ones that we want. Mm-hmm. So you have to get those high school kids. And so we've gotten probably about 4 to 6 O-linemen, 4 to 6 defensive linemen. So we know we got to get those kids up and ready to play. And I think we got to develop those guys. That's just one of those positions. The big, fast, strong guys, they're at a premium. So.
Yeah. So now what does an offensive lineman in an Eddie Robinson Jr. offense look like? Because everybody has a different outlook of what the lineman should look like for their team.
Yeah, I mean, I think the tackle's a little bit different from the interior guys. The good thing with us, we don't have to have the 6'6", 6'7" guys, but you can be a 6'3", 6'4" guy. And the bigger thing about it is the mentality. We want to have a level of physical and toughness and a little bit of nastiness.
Yeah.
And I think if you have that, it's like you want to meter. How bad do you want to make that block? And if those guys can kind of check off that box, then they can play for us.
Now, Andrew is a true dual-threat quarterback. What type of opportunities does that give your offense when you have a quarterback that can sling it and he can also get out of the pocket and make some people miss?
Yeah, without telling Trey Oliver our game plan for the first game, but obviously he's a guy that
can. Right.
He can still run the football, and I think when we played against him when he was at Texas Southern, that's what scares you as a coach. When you can cover everybody, you have a great defensive play, then he takes off and uses his legs, and so I think that's the part that he has to be smart about. You want to be a passing quarterback, but you still have to be able to run the ball and take advantage of the things you can do with your legs. So he's a fun guy to coach, and he'll be out there competing, and everybody's competing in every position. So we have guys to push him to get better, and that's what we need from the whole team so we all can be successful.
Because you've been so stout on defense, one of the top defenses in the entire conference, not just from the standpoint of what you do, how you move, what are some things this year that you're paying attention to? Because you did lose a few guys last year.
Yeah, I think for us it's the guys up front. The defensive linemen have to really step up, and if you're not good at that position, then the rest of it doesn't matter. James Burgess, the guy we have here today from the cornerback spot, he's another 6'3", tall, lone corner, kind of in the mindset of the Keenan Isaac, and then Mikey Victor, who went with the Patriots last year, and we think he's a guy that can make that next step to go to the next level. So I think those guys are going to continue that tradition, and they're hungry, they're working hard, and we've set a standard, so now they have to maintain the standard.
Coach, I don't know if you let that guy over there in Montgomery often, Charles Bishop, but he did have a question for you.
Okay.
Yeah, Coach, I wanted to ask this question in regards to the roster training that we see at the FCS level. When does the chemistry start kind of coming into effect for your team, and when you kind of establish what you want to see from these new guys coming in?
Yeah, so, the spring, we're not sure if that's the guys that we're going to have in the fall. So you're looking at them and say, man, it looks pretty good, but you still don't know. You're adding some people are going to leave. But I think the summer months are really big. I mean, if you look at us, we're taking the kids bowling. We take them kayaking. We take them fishing. We just try to do stuff other than football get them off the PlayStation, get them in the facility, get them to meet each other.
They got a new game coming out.
Correct.
Oh, yeah,
they
man.
all know it. So now they're all like they hunkered down, right? So we have to lock it in and make sure we got set up play dates. You know what I'm saying? So and really that's where the team bonding comes, where those guys get to know each other, respect each other, and work with each other. So.
All right, we can't let them get out of here without talking about North Carolina Central.
Oh, man, because first game you're playing on a Sunday. I mean, no church the first Sunday of the season.
Yeah, you're right. So that's going to be a great game. And Orange Blossom Classic has done a great job. We've been down there for a press conference already. They've been on our campus to the spring game and also the North Carolina Central. They're here. So they're doing a great job of promoting it. We have about 12 guys on our team from the South Florida area, big alumni chapter down there. So we're looking forward to get down there and just show some good HBCU football. I think the fans are ready for it. North Carolina Central, us, we'll both be ready for it. The bands will be there. So it'll be just a great weekend of HBCU football.
Coach, good luck on the season, man. First game is on Sunday against North Carolina Central. Of course, you guys will play at 3 p.m. It'll be on the big station, ESPN. Good luck.
Yeah, it'll be a hot day. We're looking forward to it, though.
Well, it'll be definitely hot. All right, we'll take a timeout. We'll get with more schools, more players, more coaches when we come back here in Birmingham. 2024 SWAC Media Day rolls on.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
You can't handle the heat, Pops.
Dad, you're getting cooked out there.
Yes, Coach.
I'm sorry to say, you're being traded to Montana.
But I'm your father.
That's why this is so hard.
What team is in Montana?
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
Down here with two members of the Alabama State Hornets, James Burgess and Andrew Body. You guys are the hunted now, man. What does it feel like?
We've been getting hunted for, a good minute. So, you know what I'm saying? Every team, they can come try to hunt, but we the hunters. We don't get hunted. So, yeah.
Andrew, new environment down there at Alabama State, man. You guys are picked to finish first. Tell me what it's going to feel like in terms of everybody giving you your best shot.
Well, obviously, everybody going to come out and try to give us a punch, but we're going to be out there like Floyd. We're going to have to make them miss and then hit them with a counter.
They said like Floyd.
So it's going to be a fun year. The feelings most definitely going to be great, but God got us, so we ain't got to worry about nothing.
There you have it, guys. God got them. They are picked to finish first here in the SWAC East. It's going to be a fun season. Thank you guys for stopping by.
All right, thanks a lot, Charles. And, of course, now we're joined by the head coach of Alcorn State University, head coach Cedric Thomas in his first year, but no stranger to the Brave Nation. Coach, how you doing?
Oh, I'm blessed.
Coach, let's first of all talk about this team. You come in, and what's one of the first things you do? You guys finished second last year, but, again, no stranger to Alcorn State.
Well, the first thing is just recruit the guys that's in-house. We got to take care of the Malachi Baileys of the world, the Troy Griffins of the world, the T. Adams, Gideon Spotsville, all those guys that we had returning. The biggest thing was just making sure that they understood the mission and the vision, and the Alcorn brand was going to stay the same.
You talk about Malachi Bailey. He led the SWAC in sacks last year. He had 9 of those. So what type of havoc can he wreak on another team, and what type of advantage does that give you?
You know, it's awesome because he can play not only the left end, like left defensive end, the right defensive end. You can put him in a 3 technique or a shade. He's just tenacious. But you know, he missed the Alcorn for us. He does so many things with the younger guys inside the playbook, and just being able to walk that Alcorn walk. And he has that pedigree, and it's our job now to be able to help him get an opportunity to get to the next level. So me and Coach Roberson got to get in the lab and just find some ways to just make his skill set a whole lot better. So you know, if he do have an opportunity, you know, he can maximize it.
What's the most important thing that you told your coaches about going into recruiting after recruiting those guys that were already on campus?
You know, getting culture fixtures. You know, we got to get guys that's Alcorn guys. You know, a lot of guys may have stars by their name or come from, you know, big institution that got a lot of bricks and mortars. But for us, you know, it's more so guys that can come in and fit what we want. And, you know, we know where we at. We know what we've done. And so that was the biggest thing for us. You know, it's a lot of kids that can run, jump, catch, throw. But can you process information at a high level? Can you do things on and off the field? And we live by a mantra. For us, school is cool. So it's the most important component of what we do, you know, at Alcorn. And it's being able to take that information from a learning standpoint from the classroom and then doing it when you get in the field house and getting outside playing football.
Coach, they like you, man. They picked you guys to finish first out west.
Yeah,
I just looked at that.
Yeah, I just looked at that. I said, that must be a typo. You know, we live by a mantra of to be the man that beat the man, so I was trying to see why Prairie View wasn't up there. But I get it, you know, and I understand it. And so we, you know, I've been a part of some great teams there, just from a championship standpoint. And so we're taking in stride. You know we got to take care of us. You know, pre is always good, but we're looking for post. And so we just got to do a really good job to make sure the Texas Southern type deals don't slip up, or the Prairie View games, you know, don't bite us in the tail. And so if we can take care of everything in house and just take a game at a time, you know, we'll find ourselves in a really good situation when the dust settles.
Well, Coach, early season, you got a lot of things coming up, and of course, a very tough schedule on the way. What have you told your guys about just game one, getting ready for that?
You know, the biggest thing is for the guys who, you know, may want to think about getting into Portland and going to that league or playing on the next level. Well, here's your chance. Here's an opportunity for you can, you know, play against a really good Conference USA school. You know, that has a lot of, you know, with Trent Differ, a great staff, a lot of good components in it. And so it's a litmus for them, you know, to be able to see where they stand. I don't look at it as a money game. I look at it for an opportunity to see where we are, not only as players but coaches. You know, you want to be able to put a good product out there and let coaches be able to see, you know, what we're doing. You know, it's not no backyard football or recess ball. It's a lot of really good coaches in this league and coaching and teaching. So we want to have a good game plan to go down and give ourselves the opportunity to win, and that's what we're coming up to UAB to do.
Coach Cedric Thomas of the Alcorn State University Braves. We're going to toss it over to Charles Bishop to talk to two of the players from the Braves staff.
Yeah, down here, and this guy, he is no stranger to quarterbacks in the SWAC, Malachi Bailey. Mal, new coach down there on the reservation. What's it been like thus far playing for Coach Thomas?
Not a new coach for me. He was my defensive coordinator last year, and he always been great and supportive of the things that I do on and off the field. So I'm excited to see what he has in store for us being our head coach this year.
And Tavares, no stranger to opposing secondaries. You put a lot of pressure on him, but the environment, playing down there on the reservation, talk to your fans in terms of what it's like down there when they get to rocking for you guys.
Oh, man, when they get to rocking down there, it's on, man. Big shout out to Brave Nation. It's a wonderful feeling down there in that reservation playing, man. And they come out and support us, even on road games, all the time.
You guys are picked to finish first in the SWAC West. Any different pressure with the target on your back?
No, sir, no pressure at all.
There it is. Two of the Alcorn Braves' finest, Malachi Bailey, Tavares Griffith. Looking forward to the season.
All right, Charles, thanks a lot. Alcorn State University, they're going to be a very interesting team as they are the #1 predicted team to finish in the West. And so this is going to be an interesting year for the Braves. All right, we're going to take a timeout. When we come back, more football. It is 2024 SWAC Media Day here in Birmingham. We'll take a timeout. Back after this.
Get your girls out this summer with Pepsi, the official beverage of Girls' Night Out.
Is this what you want? These crunchy ridges?
Yes, coach!
If you want to secure the bag, then step it up.
Does he know there's more Ruffles in the pantry?
You want these chips? Keep practicing.
When you join the HBCU family, you become part of the tradition of breaking barriers in your community, breaking ground in your career, and bringing it with everything you do. From how you look to how you move in the classroom, on the court, and on the field. That's why Academy Sports and Outdoors is proud to celebrate the HBCU.
We are exactly what you think. We are not at all what you think. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. General Motors, honored to sponsor the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
Back here in Birmingham, it's the 2024 SWAC Media Day for football, and we are just, man, we're not even talking about months away now. We are just weeks away from the first game of the season. And, of course, you know, you've got the MEAC SWAC Challenge, which is just around the corner, and that'll highlight the first week.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hot. We're going to be rolling in Atlanta, and it's going to be a great year. We got coaches. We got a cozy condition happening. We're just going to do it in real time. Coach, you're right there, Coach. Come on. Yeah, come on. Look, it's live. People have done crazier things on the internet than just walk up on stage. You're good.
You are okay, Coach.
You told me to come on. I did. That's exactly what I did.
Come on, grab the headset right there.
We're going to get his headset on here. And, Coach.
He said if you're not early, you're not on time.
You're not on time. Well, look, Coach Kuzi from Florida A&M. Coach, look. First year, but not your first year. You're familiar with the program. Talk about what you've had to do so far just to get ready here.
Well, I mean, obviously, this is my third season coming in, and I think that being under Coach Simmons as the assistant head coach, and working with the defensive backs, I learned early how important football is to the FAMU Rattlers.
Look, football is one of those things. It's not just about a game. It's not just about a team. It is a culture at Florida A&M. When you're going out and you're recruiting players, what are you telling them and how important it is to understand that they're not just joining a team but a family?
Well, I think the biggest thing is when once we get these guys on campus and get them and show them all of the positive things that are going on in Tallahassee, specifically at Florida A&M, getting a chance for them to be around our professors, getting a chance to be around our team, getting a chance to be around in the city, getting a chance to be around our administration, and it's really, really easy. Now, obviously, a lot of these recruits that we signed were in the spring, but a lot of them came to our spring game. They saw some of the losses that we had, that we had incurred during the season, so they also saw a lot of opportunity. Obviously the guys we lost via the portal or via graduation, right? So those recruits that we brought in saw an opportunity where they can contribute early and have the opportunity to be successful early in their careers.
Coach Colsey, if you do your research, you will find that FAMU leads all FCS schools in FBS transfers. You hit the portal pretty hard.
Yeah.
How do you make that successful? Because there's also research that says just because you get all these transfers doesn't mean you win a championship. So how do you balance those two?
And that's a great question. I will say this. When we were looking at the players that we lost, now it was extremely important for us to try to get those similar type of players. And so when you lose a third-year starter or a 3-year starter, it was going to be hard for us to bring in a high school kid of some sort. So, so you look at those guys, we had about 28 to 30 guys on my board. We had those guys listed, and then we needed to find some either equal or possibly better. So I think we did that for the most part. Now, again, we got 89, 90 guys when I left a couple days ago, and they were in the weight room, and we were doing install meetings, and we were working on OTAs, and we are a very, very good-looking group when you get off the bus. But I think the most important thing that we're going to have to make sure we do is play as a team. We'll be talented, as I said, guys coming from Power 5, Group of 5 conferences, but there's a strong possibility we may have guys on the third team that came from Group of 5 schools. So how is that guy going to handle that? How is that guy going to be able to get over that adversity? But ultimately, as a staff, ultimately as our veterans and our leaders of this team, we're going to have to play together. So we'll be talented, but the question will be play together if we have any type of adversity.
Let's talk about Kendall Bowler.
Yes.
He is a tremendous athlete, leader on this team, defensive backs. That is your specialty. What type of leadership does he bring to Florida A&M?
Well, he's more of a leader by example. Now if Kendall's getting on you, then that means it's really, really bad. But he's a leader by example. He's obviously, him and I, we've met together over the last couple seasons, and he understands what I'm going to want necessarily from the defensive backs. But he leads by example. Obviously, the proof's in the pudding. He had an amazing year last year. He was an all-conference player, All-American in some other areas as well, but great leader by example. But he also understands as he gets older, he's now going to have to lead a little bit more vocally than he may have done in the past.
You look at your quarterback room. You got a lot of names.
I wonder when that question was going to come up.
Look, you got a lot of names that make people excited, but names don't always equal stats. Junior Maritovich, is he your clubhouse leader heading into the fall?
Well, I will say this. Junior's the guy that has he knows the offense. The biggest thing for me was in retaining Coach Henry as our offensive coordinator. I didn't want to change our terminology. I didn't want to change anything that we had done offensively. Now, obviously, Coach Simmons was pulling the trigger on a lot of those calls. But in all honesty, I didn't want to change what we were doing because with all the success that we were having. So, Junior's been here. It's going to be his third year being here. Obviously, coming into the spring, he knew more. He knew more than our quarterback coach at the time. So, he's working with our ones and our twos, and Daniel Richardson is working with our ones and our twos. And I think our offensive staff is doing a really, really good job with mixing them in with the ones and the twos, so we can find out what quarterback is going to be best for us.
Did you see predicted order of finish?
I have not. Where do they have us?
They have you second.
Oh, really?
Alabama State.
Wow. Okay. Well,
how does that strike you?
Well, I had us pick third. I'm not gonna lie. I had Alabama State.
Third? Everybody wants to be third.
I had Alabama State. I think Alabama State was 1 and Jack State was 2, or whatever the case may be. Those predictions. Obviously, it's exciting. It's exciting. I think it's coach based, right? The coaches are feeling what they think where we may be, but obviously. We play a lot of these teams later in the year, so I think the predictions are great. It give you something to stand on. It could be some locker room fodder for some other coaches, but ultimately it's going to be about when we play these teams throughout the year. I can tell you whether it's Alabama State, Jackson State, or whatever the case may be. Those teams are going to probably be a lot different in October compared to where we are right now.
Well, Coach, last thing here is you get ready for this season. You move from a defensive backs coach to the head coach here. What's been the biggest adjustment that you've had to make?
Well, a lot of paperwork, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I am. There is so much paperwork. I marvel with how much Coach Simmons has done. My director of operations, Jennifer Santiago, has done a great job and help leaving me with that. But Coach Simmons will have to do all this paperwork throughout the week and then go out there and call a hell of a game on Saturdays. I marvel about some of the things that he had to do throughout the week. But there's just administrative stuff, right? I've as you mentioned, I was taking care of the defensive backs, right? Taking care of the corners specifically on a daily basis. Now, I'm worried about every single player on this football team. I worry about them every single day. So I would say that, but ultimately, it comes with the job. I'm extremely happy and honored to be the 19th head football coach at Florida A&M, and I respect that. I understand that, and I take this job as serious as I can.
Real quickly before you go. Starting the season, Norfolk State, South Carolina State, Miami, Troy. That's a heck of a month.
Well, I was telling Mr. Grant earlier, I was hoping that they could send us to California for the first couple of weeks so we can see what kind of football team we have. But hey, when you're the reigning national champion, it's great to start in Atlanta. It's great to stay. You're gonna play Norfolk. You're gonna play South Carolina State. You're gonna play Miami. You're gonna play Troy. Well, what that tells us is going to tell us a lot about where we are as a football team. But obviously, the goal is to win the SWAC East, then play in the SWAC championship, win that, hopefully get an opportunity to go to Atlanta to play for the Celebration Bowl. So regardless of how we go with those first 4 games, our goals are going to still be intact, and our mission will not change, and that is to be the two-time HBCU national champions.
Two-time.
Coach James Colsey III joining us here on SWAC Media Day in Birmingham. We got to take a break. When we come back, we'll have Prairie View A&M coming up next as well here in Birmingham. Stand by, everybody. We are at the 2024 SWAC Media Day.
Get your grills out this summer with Pepsi, the official beverage of Grills Night Out.
Oh, that's dynamite.
It's not dynamite! Es dinamita.
Go ahead. Try us.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
You can't handle the heat, Pops.
Dad, you're getting cooked out there.
Yes, Coach.
I'm sorry to say, you're being traded to Montana.
But I'm your father.
That's why this is so hard.
What team is in Montana?
The SWAC, the premier athletic conference in the nation. A collection of schools rich in tradition, pride, and pedigree. Sacrifice, winning, allegiance, champions. We are the SWAC, building champions for life.
All right, welcome back here to SWAC Football Media Day here in Birmingham, Alabama. It is always great to be here. It marks the beginning of the football season and the end of vacations for the football staff. And joining us is the head coach of Prairie View A&M University, head coach Bubba McDowell. Coach, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How you doing?
You don't take many vacations.
I don't, man. They don't give me a chance to, much as I love playing golf, too.
Now, look, Coach, you've been busy this year. Not only have you been talking with all your recruits and telling your guys about how important it is to work out, but you've also been really big in doing things in the community.
Absolutely. And again, for me, for my guys to see what I'm doing, and as well as the coaches, just try to, lead by example. They know that I've always been that type of guy to give back. And again, I want these guys to understand that, it's not just about football. It's about things after they get done with football and the lives that you touch, and the lives that's going to matter down the line. So, for me to be able to continue to show that, hey, again, as I said, not just about football, but just spreading that love, outside of football.
Coach, we put all the head coaches from last year in a blender in your division, and you have risen to the top as the most tenured coach going into your third year.
I know.
I mean, you got, Alcorn, you got rookie. Coach Thomas has SWAC hours his first year there. Coach Graves, Coach Joseph, Coach Dishman, you and Alonzo are like the OGs now.
We are, man. We are. And it's exciting, man. Because, again, going into this year, to see the new staff from different schools coming in and guys that I know, coached against back in the day, it's just exciting. I think the SWAC is going to be an exciting year overall from the east and the west side.
All right, they got you second. I mean, after winning the division last year, they got you second.
That's how they used to do us at Miami, too. So, if we can kind of copy, that same attitude, and I'm trying to make sure these guys understand, kind of like Jimmy Johnson used to tell us, he'll say something to tee us off, like, hey, man, they got y'all second, right? So what are you going to do about it? So hopefully, they see it, and they've been asking, like, hey, coach, say something nasty, say something. I said, now, I don't do that. But they're ready to go.
Well, Coach, look, as you get ready for this year, obviously defense, one of your big mantras, and talking about how you have to make sure you have a good defense. What are some things that you did this year to really make sure that you shore things up?
Well, again, just going out and beefing up that D-line. We went out, we got probably 3 transfers in this offseason. First time since I've been there that we've been pretty stocked on that D line, which is really good. So now we can rotate.
Mm-hmm.
We can rotate without guys getting tired. And again, it's gonna help our secondary out because as I told them, and I tell many people, I had the privilege of playing behind some great D linemen at Miami and with the Oilers, and those guys up front, as you know, are key. So again, to have that many guys and out there competing, and the great part about it is a lot of them came back, that first session on their own. And just out there working in the weight room and out there on the field. So I know we're getting better. I know they understand the importance of getting better, and more importantly, as I told them, nobody's job is safe right now.
Absolutely.
We're going to hear from C.J. Presley in just a few moments over there with Charles Bishop. But here's a guy, defensive end, 54 tackles last year, 3.5 sacks. You're going to be looking and leaning on him a lot this year?
Absolutely, and that's why I brought him to this show, man, because, again, he's a young man, again, that likes to do things in the community. But more importantly, as we've been asking as a coaching staff, as a head coach, we want more leaders, not only on defense but on offense or the team as a whole. And as I told him, I said, dude, you guys got the best unit thus far. What are you going to do? How are you going to get that unit to be able to play, down after down without getting tired, and make an impact, and he keeps saying, Coach, I'm going to get it. And he's the main one that keep telling me, Coach, we're second. We're second.
Mm-hmm. Hey, look, Santori just sets me up to be the guy to ask about quarterbacks. He won't do it. So let's get into it.
Let's get into the quarterback talk here because, look, this is the year where you have a lot of new quarterbacks here in this conference.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at your team, what are some things that you're looking at as far as the competition in the quarterback room?
Well, right now we don't have a true starter right now that I'm gonna name right now. But again, we had Lucas Cooley come in by way of Arkansas to U of H. Came in, great leader, man. I love him to death. He came in hitting the ground running. One thing I love about him, he was able to get the wide receivers out there, during their off time and throwing to them, and he's that type of guy that commands that type of thing where he wants guys out there so he can get better throwing, and we hadn't had that in a while. But, seeing Cam Peters out there now, back and ready to go. Jaden Johnson, who didn't get a chance to play last year due to some situation. But, again, it's a group of guys, again, that's going to compete. And they all out there doing well, throwing well. But also, as I told them, when I was leaving, I saw 3 of them walking together, and that's what I hadn't been seeing, them 3 walking together. When I said, where y'all going? They said, we're going to lunch, Coach. I said, and I just looked at them and I smiled and said, this is what I want to see. More of this right here, you 3 guys together, talking, communicating, because they know it's a competing job right now. Nobody's a true starter, and whoever the best guy during training camp going to win this job.
Yep. What are you looking for in your quarterback? What's the most important thing?
I need him to be a game manager for one. Again, be able to throw the ball. I need them all to be consistent. Because again, If we get consistency at that position with the wide receivers that we have, we're going to be pretty goddamn good, And of course we got Coach Wheaton in there, with the chaos offense, and he's moving. I mean, he's pretty fast when he wants to get out the huddle and snap the ball. So, and that's the thing that they're kind of struggling with right now, but they are getting better at it.
I love that, the chaos offense.
You got to get the ball to Shamar Savage because he can make it happen.
He absolutely. He's big enough. He better make it happen.
Well, Coach, good luck on the season this year, man. You got a lot of great times, and of course, you always have Texas Southern to start the season.
Yeah. That's my boy across there. He's in the SWAC, and I told him, I said, hey, man, we're in the SWAC now. This is something different. I said, don't take it personal.
Absolutely.
Friends are friends.
2 Houston Oilers over in Houston. All right, we're going to take it over to Charles Bishop. He'll be talking with the players from Prairie View A&M University.
Yeah, down here with C.J. Presley and Shamar Savage. This guy I'm looking up here at C.J. Presley. C.J., you guys have been knocking on the door the past couple of seasons. From a player perspective, what's it going to take for you guys to knock the door down?
Just continue to face adversity. You always have a plan, and things never go as planned. As always, everybody knows that. And just continue how we face adversity, how we take on every challenge that comes our way, and just make sure we keep a positive mindset, a next play mindset, and just taking care of business that way.
Shamar, I know you're a deep threat, man. Me and you were talking a little bit about the quarterback room. You're excited. You're all smiles, man.
All smiles. So right now we got 4 strong quarterbacks: Cam, Jaden, Deuce, Lucas. No matter what quarterback I step on that field with, I believe in all of them to get the job done.
Single high safety DB comes up and presses you. What are you going to do, man?
Whoa, you know that favorite word as a wide receiver? Blur.
There you have it, guys. Preview A&M getting set for the season. Texas Southern is that first game.
Man, can't wait. Labor Day Classic in Houston, Texas, and 2 old teammates, 2 guys who played with the Oilers. You got Chris Tishman, you got Bubba McDowell. It's all Houston love. And I mean, you could probably see some of the old Oilers come out to the game just to see that.
A whole bunch of them have been calling. Me and Chris, like, okay, which side are you going to be? So some are going to have like half and half, and then one of my buddies, who Floyd Johnson promotion, he said he's going to wear half side PV, a jersey, and half side TSU.
Well, look, we're going to take a time out here. When we come back, more coaches, more players, and we'll talk about some of the great classics, not just the Labor Day Classic, but some of the other great classics coming up this year. We'll take a time out back after this here in Birmingham.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
You can't handle the heat, Pops.
Dad, you're getting cooked out there.
Yes, Coach.
I'm sorry to say, you're being traded to Montana.
But I'm your father.
That's why this is so hard.
What team is in Montana?
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
The SWAC, the premier athletic conference in the nation. A collection of schools rich in tradition, pride, and pedigree. Sacrifice, winning, allegiance, champions. We are the SWAC. Building champions for life.
Back here at SWAC Media Day here in Birmingham, and it is the start of the 2024 season officially. And then, of course, you got games coming up week 0, and we're now joined by the head coach of the Grambling State University Tigers, head coach Mickey Joseph in his first year from the NO. How you doing, brother?
Oh, I appreciate you, man. I'm doing good. It's a great atmosphere.
Coach, you've got a lot of experience. You've been at Grambling before already as an assistant coach. You've been at Louisiana Tech. You've been at LSU. You've been at Nebraska. Now coming to Grambling as the head coach. How has all of that experience gotten you ready for this game, for this season?
Well, I probably should do what my mom said. We need to get a stock in U-Haul with me and my brothers, because we're always moving on jobs. But, the experience has been great. You have the 90-day. We did the 90-day, first day on the job, and that went well. The first thing we wanted to do is get in there and evaluate these kids, let these kids know that we're not going to just come in here and cut everybody, because we wanted to know what type of kid they were, what it was at graduation-wise, what type of player they were going to be. So we wanted to give them an opportunity to stay a part of the team if they check the boxes. So that was part of it, and then it was getting the staff in, and we got the staff in. So right now it's going pretty smoothly. We just got to continue to improve every time we hit the field.
Well, one kid that checks all the boxes is Miles Crawley. You're definitely going to keep him around.
Absolutely. We challenged Miles the day we got there and told him that we're not going to give you the starting job, that you're going to win the starting job, And he stayed in there. He stayed in the fight. You know, I mean, and I coach quarterbacks just like I coach receivers. They get it first. He gets it first in the meetings before anybody else gets it. Miles gets it, but he's a highly football IQ guy. Just a great kid, and he's a competitor. He wants to compete. He wants to win. So we had some things that we had to just fix with him, and right now he's getting better every time he touched the field.
Well, Coach, look, on the other side, you talk about defense, and that's one of the things that I know early on you said you had to make sure that you improved on the defense. A lot of things you want to improve, making sure that you stop deep balls, make sure you stop the run. What are some things that you did as far as just the recruiting side?
Well, we had to bring in some defensive linemen in. We had to bring in some defensive backs in because I didn't think, just looking at the film, we didn't run well. We didn't run. When people popped on us, we never caught them. So we had to go get kids that can turn and run, and we wanted to get longer in the secondary. We wanted to get some taller kids and some, we want to get thicker at the nickel position, but we really wanted to beef that D line up. We wanted to get, 12 kids on scholarship that we know we can play, because I don't think it's no reason to put a kid on scholarship with the transfer portal and say, oh, we're gonna hold him in redshirting. I always say, well, who you redshirting for, the next coach? So we're not doing that. So we had to do that on defense, and I like what Coach Rollins is doing with the defense, and Jay Smith, Del Lee, and DeMonte, they do a really great job of working together, and I think they're gonna probably be the strength of the team just because of their depth.
Talk about your assistant coaches, because you look down the roster of the coaching staff. It's like all head coaches.
Yes. Well, just having Coach Rollins and Coach Dooley, just having those guys, just a plus, because they kind of keep me in line, with some of the things that I want to do, because I have a little Ed Ogeron in me, so I want to bang bang bang. So they kind of keep me in line, but it's a blessing in disguise to have those guys, and I trust those guys, and I trust what they say, and they know they can come to me with anything if they want to change something with the script or the practice schedule. They know they can do that, and just a blessing to have those guys, and they have the rest of the young coaches, like Sharon Carey played at LSU, Jay Smith, a kid I raised that's doing a great job with the D-line, Diamante Johnson played at Grambling, so just a really good young staff. Chris Peters does a great job with our inside receivers and tight ends, and does a great job of recruiting. They all got to do a great job of recruiting, because part of my philosophy is this, and I know sometimes they want to say, oh, he's a recruiter, he's not a coach. I say that's fine. I've been called a recruiter my whole life, but I don't want some rings being a recruiter. So I always say when you're a recruiter, that means you got the best players.
You talk about being a recruiter, and I know when we first spoke about, what your philosophy was on recruiting, you talked about it's not just enough to go to the portal. You have to go to the portal with purpose.
Yes.
What are some things that you looked at as far as going to the portal?
Well, when we go to the portal, it's an instant. Who can this kid walk out and play right now? What's his measurables? What's his football IQ? We don't go in the portal, looking for backups. We're looking for go to the portal for kids to contribute, but we still have the philosophy where we want to be 85% high school and continue to develop, because I think you still can do that on the FCS level. I don't think you can do that in Power 5, but I think on the FCS level that you still can sit there and have 85% of high school kids and develop them, and have 15% of portal kids, because that's kind of like we took that from the NFL model, what they do with free agency. It's 15% free agency to 85% through the draft. So we kept the same thing, but when you go to the portal, you got to go to the portal with a purpose and know that this kid's the kid, and what you can't do at the portal, you can't miss.
Mm-hmm.
You can't miss.
You are known for coaching up wide receivers.
Yes, sir.
Your resume speaks for itself. What do you think about what you have there on the perimeter at Grambling?
Well, right now, I'm happy where these guys are at. We still have some work to do with them. There are some kids, like you get a kid Javon Robinson, that's a really good player. We have a kid Jacoby Belazar. That's from Mississippi State. That's a really good player, So we got to continue to get them better, and I think Sharon and Chris Peters do a great job with them. So we just got to keep developing them, keep working on their footwork, keep working on their releases, how they're going to get off the line of scrimmage. But one thing I think they can do, I think they all can run. I think they all can run. So I have the same philosophy at LSU. I mean, I want to be long, I want to be big, I want to be aggressive to the ball, and that's what we teach.
Coach, last thing before we go to the players, and that is, you look at your schedule, you got ULL first, and man, that game against Tuskegee, a huge game. You talk about, just the history behind Tuskegee and how Grambling was founded, it really is setting up to be a great schedule, especially with 5 home games this year.
Absolutely. We're really excited. Dr. Scott did a great job of getting, 5 home games, because in the past, Grambling usually played a lot of games on the road. And I think in 2024, they got to come to the G. You got to make these teams come to the G. You got to make them come, and unless we're going to get a big payout for a classic, we want to play games. I want to play games in Grambling, because now it helps us with recruiting. Our kids can come to our games, and they can see the game day atmosphere. Plus, it helps with your team, that they don't have to travel. Sometimes it don't make sense for me to travel, and I'm the home team. It don't make sense to me, but that's the way they do things, and that's the way they're going to do it. But I think the more games you can play at home, the best it's going to be financially for the university.
Absolutely. Coach Mickey Joseph joining us here at the 2024 SWAC Media Day. Now let's take it over to Charles Bishop with the players from Grambling.
Yeah, down here with Miles Crowley and Quentin Talley. Miles, I had to switch hands, man. Your hands, my hand is still hurting from that handshake. But talk a little bit about Coach Joseph and what he's brought to this program.
It's been great, man. I love him and his staff that he brought in. He's real enforcement for his discipline, holds us all to a high standard. So I feel like this season is going to be a good one.
Quentin, this is a national iconic brand. This is the G. What's it going to take for you guys to get back in the upper echelon of the SWAC?
Just discipline. We had a great team last year that could restore the glory, but with Coach Mickey and what he's bringing to the table, we're going to definitely be able to this year.
These guys are chomping at the bit to get this season underway. Thank you guys for stopping in.
Appreciate you.
All right, so the Grambling Tigers, of course, they start the season against ULL coming up the first weekend or last weekend, I should say, in August, getting ready to go into September, and, of course, all the classics that they play as well. Hey, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll continue to have great coaches, great players, and we'll talk about the Celebration Bowl and the MEAC SWAC Challenge, 2 big games on the front and back end of the football season. It's the 2024 SWAC Football Media Day here in Birmingham.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
You can't handle the heat, Pops.
Dad, you're getting cooked out there.
Yes, Coach.
I'm sorry to say, you're being traded to Montana.
But I'm your father.
That's why this is so hard.
What team is in Montana?
Get your grills out this summer with Pepsi, the official beverage of Grills Night Out.
Oh, that's dynamite.
It's not dynamite! Es dinamita. Go ahead. Try us.
The SWAC, the premier athletic conference in the nation. A collection of schools rich in tradition, pride, and pedigree. Sacrifice, winning, allegiance, champions. We are the SWAC, building champions for life.
I can't.
All right, but here at SWAC Media Day, we're going to get down to Charles Bishop with the players from Florida A&M here in just a second, and they're going to talk about what's going on with the Rattlers.
No doubt. Down here with Kevin Dean and Kendall Bowler, you guys brought out the hardware. I like to see it, man. There's a lot of diamonds in there, a little bling action. No doubt about it. You guys have established yourselves as being one of the more iconic brands, the Hunted, if you will. Picked to finish second here in the SWAC. But talk a little bit about, with the roster turnover, what you guys are trying to bring to this season.
You know, we bring a lot of great things to see. You know, Coach Cozy did a great job of recruiting guys. You know, we got guys from like Kansas, Purdue, UCF, TCU. You know, we trying to reload and repeat this thing, man. So that's what we're trying to do.
When we take a look at you breaking in a new quarterback, do you want a few more touches over there on the offensive side of the ball?
I want a lot more touches. I want to give myself an even better chance to impact the offense in a positive way, but we want a quarterback that's going to come out and make the right decisions for the offense as a whole.
$1 million question. Can you withstand being the hunted, the reigning Black College national champion?
You know, it means a lot. You know, every game, like Coach Cozy been saying, we got a target on our back every game. So, and like he been saying, like every team we play, we're gonna get it 110% every time. So every team we play, we're gonna get that best shot. So it's just up to us to do what we got to do.
There you have it, Kendall Bowler, Kevin Dean. They are the reigning Black College national champions. They brought the hardware out. Let them see the hardware. Back to you guys.
A lot of bling there with Florida A&M. Look, of course, they won the championship last year. They'll open up the SWAC MEAC Challenge in Atlanta coming up the first week of the season.
Yeah, I mean, you look at FAMU's schedule, man. We talked about it. You got Norfolk State. Then you got the trip back down memory lane in the MEAC. You got South Carolina State. Then you got Miami. Not Miami of Ohio, like Miami.
Yeah.
Then you got Troy. There's look, they don't take it easy when you are the national champion. They make you run it back and prove that you are who you say you are, and that's going to be an exciting game.
Absolutely.
Against Norfolk State.
August 24th, Center Park Stadium in Atlanta. Of course, that game will be nationally televised. And, you know, there's a lot of great nationally televised games. And might add, we talked to the representative from Cricket earlier, and it is sponsored by Cricket. And so, look, we're excited about this season. And, you know, you talk about the MEAC SWAC Challenge, and, of course, FAMU able to win the national championship, Black College National Championship in Atlanta last year, winning the Celebration Bowl, the back end of the games. And, you know, the Celebration Bowl, one of those big games, and, you know, it's been dominated by the MEAC for so long. It was great to see Florida A&M get that victory.
Yep, but as soon as the SWAC gets a win, what happens? We have another conversation starter, the Celebration Bowl being moved up a week because of the expanded college football playoff. I don't think they really had a choice.
No,
like
they
you don't want to be on TV against these power. Are we going to call them Power 4 or Power 5 schools in an expanded playoff? You want to be the game that's on. So it was a wise move, but again, it cuts down that rest time for the SWAC. So then you go into the conversation. Is it rest? Is it rust? Will you be sharper? But the MEAC traditionally has always had more time to prepare for the game because there is a SWAC championship game and not a MEAC championship game.
Absolutely. And, hey, we've got Jackson State coming up just around the corner. We'll be talking to head coach T.C. Taylor. We'll be talking about some other classics that will be happening during the year, including one that will be right here in Birmingham, Alabama.
I want to give a shout-out. I sense you going to the break. We are simulcasting live on HBCU Game Day on our YouTube channel as well as the SWAC Digital Network. So shout-out to everybody in the comments. The comments are fired up right now. They could not wait to start talking about SWAC football.
Absolutely. Everybody's talking about it. We're going to get to the All-SWAC team. We're going to do that now, as a matter of fact, the All-SWAC team. And, you know, look, this is no shortage of talent when you're looking at this team, not only your preseason all-conference players, but also your offensive and defensive players of the year. This all-conference team is loaded.
Yeah, and you know, the one thing that you look at, man, every year you look at who's expected to be the player of the year offensively and defensively, and somebody always comes up and surprises you with the year that they have. But as it stands right now, Miles Crawley, he's your preseason offensive player of the year. He's the quarterback for Grambling, and Kelby Givens, the defensive end, preseason defensive player of the year for Southern University.
And how big is that? You know, you got those two teams. It's kind of like the Bayou Classic right there. You talk about those two teams being the preseason offensive and defensive player of the year, and that just gives more and more fuel, I guess you could say, to the rivalry that these two teams have.
It's great marketing.
Yeah.
that part works. But Miles Crawley, excellent quarterback. We saw him at Alabama State. Now we see him at Grambling. You look at the preseason first team. Look at this, Donovan Eaglin. I mean, that guy can run the ball. You got Kendrick Rhymes there for Southern. Ashton Grabble on the offensive line along with Dunn. And you got Evan Henry there, and then you got Taj Martin anchoring that offensive line as well for the preseason all-SWAC team, along with Joseph. He's going to take you to church. And then out on the perimeter, Fabian McCray from Jackson State, Jacoby Hewitt from A&M, and Tavares Griffin, the tight end there for Alcorn State, which is picked to finish first out west.
All right, and this is the all-SWAC first-team defense. Malachi Bailey, defensive lineman from Alcorn State. Kelby Givens from Southern University. Traquan Thomas, the defensive lineman from Alabama State. C.J. Presley, who we heard from earlier from Prairie View A&M University. Big kid, really, really moves well. Rico Dozier, the linebacker from Alabama State. Jacob Williams from Texas Southern University. He's a linebacker. DeMarcus Cunningham from Alabama State. Kendall Bowler, and we spoke with their head coach about Kendall Bowler. He leads by example. Amari Pate, defensive back, said his name tons last year. He had a great year. James Burgess. 4
picks last year.
Four picks. James Burgess, the defensive back from Alabama State. And Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. said this is a guy that really plays well, kind of the quarterback of the defense. And Deco Wilson, the defensive back from Florida A&M. No shortage of talent here.
All right, and these are the guys that, hey, you might not think about them a lot until they do something wrong. But, boy, when they're doing it right, it really helps your team to success and victory. Special teams, you got Cameron Gillis, place kicker from FAMU, Matt Knoll, punter for Jackson State, Robert McMinn from Alabama State, return specialist, and Braxton Blackwell, the long snapper. You always got to give love to the long snapper. They're from Southern University.
Robert McMinn has amazing speed. Saw him return a couple of punts last year for touchdowns. If he gets a hold of that ball and into the open field, he can really, really go. So he is a dangerous returner. Here's the all-SWAC second team offense. Jace Wilson, Kelvin Dean, the running back, Marcus Harris, running back, Carson Winson. He is the offensive lineman from Alabama A&M. Joshua Trask Jr., offensive lineman, and Mehdi Torrance, offensive lineman from Texas Southern. Cameron Williams from Alabama A&M, Jamari Gassett from Florida A&M, Javon Robinson from Grambling, and Jackson Davis from Mississippi Valley. He's got great hands for a tight end. Not only is he a good, really very good blocker, but he's also got some great hands.
And we'll have a new field to play on this year.
Absolutely. Looking forward to some great things there for Mississippi Valley. And that's a team you don't hear about as much, but looking forward to hearing about them.
All right, second team defense, Jeremiah Williams from Jackson State. As we go down the defensive line here, Alan Smith from FAMU, Michael Akins from Texas Southern, Jamal Marshall, Prairie View, Isaiah Bogarty, he's a linebacker for Texas Southern, Adirius Thomas, a linebacker as well from Bethune-Cookman. We got Derek Williams there from Southern University. Amon Scarborough, defensive back for Alabama State. Isaiah Guthrie, defensive back. He had a big year last year for Jackson State. Edwin Samora, defensive back for Alcorn, and Javius Wilson, defensive back, Texas Southern. That is your all-SWAC second team defense.
All right, and of course our second team specialist, Joshua Griffin, who is the place kicker from Southern, Jeremy Baker, punter from Arkansas Pine Bluff, Jamari Gassett, return specialist from Florida A&M, and the long snapper, Clayton Thomas Jr. from Bethune-Cookman. Those are your second team all-SWAC specialists. And of course, man, look, these are, when you start looking at this, one of the main things that you look at, especially you get to the midseason, how many of these guys on the all-conference teams are healthy, not injured. That's always been a big portion of this game, is that, when you see these teams, how many have been bitten by the injury bug?
Yeah, and, we talked about special teams, like when you look back at a season, you look at how the West was won the last 2 years. I mean, we get down to the Bayou Classic, Santoria, we got 5 different scenarios of who could win the West, and you start thinking, man, an extra point here, a punt return there. It just comes down to inches, which can be the difference between your season ending or making it to the SWAC championship and maybe the Celebration Bowl.
Absolutely. Got to take a break here in Birmingham. More coaches, more players coming up as the season gets ever so closer to the kickoff. We're here in Birmingham. The 2024 SWAC Football Media Day rolls on. Back after this.
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
We are exactly what you think. We are not at all what you think. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. General Motors, honored to sponsor the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Get your grills out this summer with Pepsi, the official beverage of Grills Night Out.
Oh, that's dynamite.
It's not dynamite! Es dinamita. Go ahead. Try us.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
You can't handle the heat, Pops.
Dad, you're getting cooked out there.
Yes, Coach.
I'm sorry to say, you're being traded to Montana.
But I'm your father.
That's why this is so hard.
What team is in Montana?
The SWAC, the premier athletic conference in the nation. A collection of schools rich in tradition, pride, and pedigree. Sacrifice, winning, allegiance, champions. We are the SWAC, building champions for life.
Back here in Birmingham, the 2024 SWAC Football Media Days. And, of course, there you see a lot of people enjoying themselves out there. We want to thank all the great sponsors. Academy Sports and Outdoors. Get your gear from Academy and get ready for all the things that you do on the outside. Academy Sports and Outdoors, proud supporters of the SWAC. And also by GM, official sponsor of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. The Home Depot, retool your school now. Go to thehomedepot.com for more information on how you can retool your school. And by Pepsi. Pepsi, proud supporters of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Back here at the 2024 SWAC Media Day, Nike also a proud supporter of this conference, and thank them for all that they do. We appreciate them so much. And
shout out to Coach Sims. He just stood there perfectly.
Yeah, I know, right? Dr. Charles McClellan joining us here, of course, the commissioner of the conference. And Dr. McClellan, you've been a little busy. You've
yes, sir.
Not only, of course, just with the day-to-days of the conference, but also serving as the Division I men's basketball committee chair. It's had to be a great experience.
It definitely was a great experience. I've used this word often today, a humbling experience. I never thought growing up in the backwoods of Sardis, Mississippi, and then moving to Jackson, Mississippi, that I would ever be in Times Square on the set of CBS talking about $1 billion tournament. You know, and when those types of opportunities come, my biggest fear, Tolly, was not to mess it up. My best story was, you know, CBS was a little nervous about me going on. They are for everybody. We had all of these prep sessions. It went well. They were like, Charles, you did really good. And then doing selections, I had to do ESPN. My favorite interview was Mad Dog. You know, they were upset about certain teams not getting in, especially on the Big East side. And Mad Dog went up one side and down the other. I had an answer for him. He was like, you're pretty good, Charles. I made it through all of that, all of the chants of all of the Big East and the Indiana State calling me an idiot, which is fine. And the last thing I thought about was, please don't drop the trophy when you hand it off, and don't mispronounce the name. So people said, Charles, it almost looked like you ran off the stage when you handed the trophy. I did, right?
Like, I'm done.
That was the most nervous that I have been in all of the things that I had to do. I said, don't mess it up. It's at the end. Do not mess it up.
But in all seriousness, like, representation matters. I remember I was in my garage looking at my TV, and there you were, and I was like, I know him.
Right.
It just felt different when you see your people, the people you have relationships with in those positions.
You know, I knew coming in it was big time, but I never really – you have to be on the inside to understand how big time that is. Another favorite story of mine, we were in Boston. We were in Detroit, and Purdue won that region, right? The governor of Indiana came to me and asked for permission to go on stage. I was like, what are you asking me for? They said we need to ask you. I said, man, you're the governor. You can go wherever you want to go, right? I can't tell you, I've met 7 governors, right? I've met several state legislatures. I've met several federal, legislatures. I've met the top individuals at Turner TNT and CBS to be in the room to talk a personal relationship with the NCAA president. All of these are things that we dreamed about. I did not get an opportunity to say this on stage. We now have 23 individuals from the SWAC membership to serve on NCAA committees. Wow. That is a product of being on the basketball committee and them understanding who we are and our value. So now if there are APR issues, we have somebody on the committee that talks about sanctions and APR and making those changes. So at every level, our chairman, President Ross, is now on the Division I board. So at the highest level, the decision that's going to be made has to go through the Southwestern Athletic Conference. So these things were important. And I think, again, it was important for me not to mess it up because being the first, I could have messed a lot of things up for a lot of people. But to be in $1 billion a year industry, Tali, when I started, I came in during COVID. My first vote was to cancel the tournament. Then we were in the bubble, and then to elevate to be chair, a lifetime experience that I would not be able to get anywhere else, and just glad to be a part of it.
One of the things that I remember that, is someone who's been in broadcasting a long time, and I've done PA announcement, when you guys honored Gene Honda as a PA announcer for so many Final Fours, I thought that was a classy move because a lot of people don't really understand the voices behind the game. And he's been a legendary voice for years, calling out the starting lineups, and you can hear that on CBS.
Yeah, the one thing that I can say about the NCAA, and they do well, they recognize and honor very well. Mm-hmm. And it's important to them. Gene's voice was as important for that tournament as the teams that were participating. As you know, we gave out the Tom Jernstad Award, and there were 2 individuals that got that award. And you look at their long history dealing with the NCAA. And the NCAA, especially from a basketball committee standpoint, they do things, talking about first class. Mm-hmm. That is a first-class organization. But that tournament is so important, not only to the membership, but the nation, right? I couldn't say this on CBS, but there are people that schedule surgeries during the tournament. You have to have that 4-day wait, Tali, when you have that particular surgery.
Wow.
We do it during that time. The doctors tell us that those numbers go way up. If you want to get that surgery, you do it during basketball tournament because you stay at home Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
That's right.
Sunday, you're ready to go back to work. So just think about that. And I'm saying that in jest. But just think about what that tournament means to this nation. And again, to be the person, the representative, the voice, the pitcher coming from the Southwestern Athletic Conference, just an humbling experience.
Yeah, we were all very proud. You talk about money, you talk about the NCAA, you talk about decisions. football continues, the leverage that continues to fall in the hands of the student athletes, their ability to capitalize on name, image, and likeness, it's not going the other way.
Correct.
It's going the way that it's going. How do you position yourself as an FCS conference when, the battlefield, if you will, are these schools with millions and millions of dollars? Do you just say, hey, let's stay in our lane? Do we try to compete at a certain level? How do you approach that?
Well, first of all, the one thing that I do know, whatever happens to that at that level will trickle down to our level. So from a Southwestern Athletic Conference standpoint, we have to start preparing ourselves for when that day comes. So I don't think that the Power Four really understands the significance of this house settlement and what's going to be the new norm. They're trying to craft it now, but as you know, it's going to change and it's going, to evolve. One of the things, Tolly, that we made a strategic decision, I say we, the athletic directors, SWA's presidents, and the conference office, was to say we wanted to try to insulate ourselves to a lot of the outside movement. Through the house settlement, through all of the things that have gone on with the NCAA, through name, image, and likeness, through all of the relocation of teams to conference, the one thing that you can say about the Southwestern Athletic Conference, we've been one of the most stable conferences, both in the restructuring of conferences and the members in that conference and from a financial standpoint. And that says a lot about our membership and the leadership within that membership. But I think it has continued to help us elevate, even from a television partner program, from a corporate partner program, and from a competitive, right? And we put certain things in, even from a basketball perspective. We said, hey, although it's not mandated, we don't want you to go out there and play for NAIA schools. It hurts the entire league. Schools are starting to buy into that, and you're starting to see our rankings go up, right? From a football's perspective, we don't want to play a whole bunch of NAIAs. Now, there are some Division II matchups that make sense, but there are enough matchups now within the Southwestern Athletic Conference that you can play games falling off that are critical games, East-West games that'll fall off for 2 years. You can play those games and make that money, but also give us the opportunity from a standpoint of what the FCS committee is looking at to get you an at-large bid. Those are the things that we're trying to do, and the membership has bought into that. So we want to remain insulated in what we do, but we also want to be cognizant of what's going on outside and around us and continue to be nimble and make those moves to put us in a position to be successful. Right now, a student athlete at the SWAC won't get paid as much as a student athlete in the SEC. That was true 100 years ago, and that's going to be true 100 years from now. But what we need to do is continue to grow that we can compete at our level. And you ask what our level is. Our level is FCS, and in my opinion, and in the opinion of several of our athletic directors, that's some of the Group of Five institutions, and that's where we're looking at. We're looking at competing at that level. We still have some work to do, but that's the trajectory that we're going.
Dr. McClellan, one of the things I wanted to ask about is, the baseball tournament, the move to Atlanta, great response from fans coming out. Saw it again this year. Making a lot of moves towards the Atlanta area, and fans have been extremely receptive to that, especially Tolly, because he lives there.
Right.
But so many people have been receptive because Atlanta is that destination spot.
Well, and the addition of Bethune and FAMU kind of put Atlanta within our footprint, and we wanted to make a strategic effort to get our footprint in the Atlanta market. Clearly, we're there for the Celebration Bowl, but the Atlanta Fulton County Recreational Authority and some, I don't want to call his name on air, but in the mayor's office there in Atlanta has been working with us for several years to make that happen. And they have been tremendous partners to the point to where our baseball tournament has moved there. Overwhelming response. We've set records in attendance. Our baseball tournaments were not that well attended. We had over 13,000 people throughout the course of the week to come. That's not huge, but that's record-setting numbers for SWAC baseball. And if we can stay in one spot in baseball, those numbers are going to continue to grow and grow. And now we've announced today that we're moving basketball there. We're going to the Gateway Center, and we've heard the response from our fan base to say, we want our basketball tournament to grow. We want more. So we're going to put a stage out in that Gateway Center corridor with the hotels. We've entered into agreements with them. We're going to have concerts out there. We're going to have artists at the games. We're going to have day parties. We're going to have events surrounding. We're going to have career fairs. The bands are going to be there. The cheerleaders are going to be there. 10 teams this year, 12 teams in the following season are going to be there. So we want to expand and grow. But again, we have to do all of these things strategically. I hear, this is what we want, but we want to do things correctly. So when we put these things in place, they will be successful.
And the fans need to do their part. You cannot drive around Atlanta and you won't pass 5 cars without FAMU, Jackson, all these, bumper stickers and license plate covers. So we need to show up now that it's in town.
That's right.
Dr. McClellan, thank you so much. We appreciate you and all that you do. Look, it was a proud moment seeing you on TV handing that trophy over during the national championship. And I was telling some of my folks back in Wisconsin, I said, this is HBCU. You see that, and it's a proud moment to see that.
Well, I thank you very much. Again, I had a lot of funny stories, but every time my picture would flash sitting at the table, my phone would ring, and I was like, you see what I'm doing? Why are you calling me on the phone? So that'll be my parting word. Want to send shouts out to Woodlawn Entertainment. They have done a tremendous job for us. They have grown as a company. Their management, their CEO is first class, and we're just proud to partner with them to bring those games on SWAC Digital Network. So if anybody is looking for a great media partner,
that's it.
That's your guy.
Absolutely. Dr. Charles McClellan joining us here at SWAC Media Day. When we get ready to come back, Jackson State next on the clock here in Birmingham. Back after.
The SWAC, the premier athletic conference in the nation. A collection of schools rich in tradition, pride, and pedigree. Sacrifice, winning, allegiance, champions. We are the SWAC, building champions for life.
Get your girls out this summer with Pepsi, the official beverage of Girls Night Out.
Is this what you want? These crunchy ridges?
Yes, Coach!
If you want to secure the bag, then step it up.
Does he know there's more Ruffles in the pantry?
You want these chips? Keep practicing.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
We are exactly what you think. We are not at all what you think. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. General Motors, honored to sponsor the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Back here in Birmingham, the 2024 Kickoff Media Day, and we are so glad that we could bring everything to you. Santoria Black, Tolly Carr, and now joining us, TCT, Coach T.C. Taylor from Jackson State University. Coach Taylor, second year, man, and look, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Good to see you guys. We're here in year 2.
I know.
Last year, I was the new guy on the block, and then we got 5 this year.
And now you're one of the most tenured.
Yeah, there you go. It's kind of crazy right now. So I'm taking it all in, but the day has been amazing so far.
7-4 last year. You finished third in the division. I know one of the things you talked about after last year is you want to get better, you want to get faster, and you want to get smarter. Talk about what you were able to do in recruiting.
We did another great job. You know, the coaches did another great job putting together a solid recruiting class. You know, we ranked right there at the top. And once we got that class completed, you know, it was all about the summertime work. You know, our AD, Ashley Robinson, did a great job of allowing us to get those guys on campus towards the end of May. We've been working since June. You know, we'll wrap up our last workouts at the end of this week and let those guys go on break and get back in here on the 29th for training camp. But it's been amazing. You know, we talked about improving the talent, our depth. You know, we dealt with some injuries last year and the character of this football team going forward.
What was your approach to the portal? We've seen people do it different ways. Which way did you want to attack it?
You know, the first year I had to dive knee deep in that thing, get going. You know, I mean, we had to go with it. But this year was a little bit different. You know, we was a little more selective what we needed. We lost a few key pieces on this team, but it wasn't as we didn't go as deep as we did last year. You know, we got a good group of high school kids in here that's going to make an impact. You know, we wanted to start building from the ground up, especially on the offensive line. You know, everybody talk about how deep the running back room is. We got some freshmen up in there that's going to be really good. But I say year one, we was really leaning on that portal a lot in order to be successful. But this year, we know we grabbed a few guys out of there, but we're expecting those guys to make immediate impact, and also wanting to build on that high school class.
You know, you look at the offensive side of the football, and we've talked about the quarterbacks coming into this year. There's a lot of new faces, in quarterback rooms. Talk about your room.
Some good guys over there that have got some experience, starting with Jacoby and Morgan. You know, he was injured early on in the year last year, but came on last year and did some good stuff, throwing 10 touchdowns. You know, the ratio to interceptions was pretty good for him. And I would love to have seen where he was at if he was healthy the whole season. But been a great summer, great off season for him, too, as well. He's been doing a great job. Zy McDonald has been doing some good stuff for us. He played in some games for us last year, showing flashes, a dual threat guy that can really get after it and throw the football. And we talked about the transfer portal. Cameron McCoy came to us from Eastern Michigan, a really good athlete, two-sport athlete for us. So that room is going to be really good for us. We got a great competition there, and they've been showing it all summer long.
McCoy from Eastern Michigan, I was going to ask about him because he seems to be a guy that can, you know, if he has to pull it down and run, he can take off with the ball.
Oh, man. You know, like I said, two-sport athlete, plays baseball, throws 95 and clocked at 95, but he has wheels. You know, that kid can really fly when he pulls the football down. And has a big arm. You know, once we got him in here this summer to see him spin the football, and he's showing great leadership. You know, it really matters to him. All those guys, you know, are in the building every day. They're understanding the competition, and that goes back to what I said when our emphasis this summer was the depth. You know, we dealt with injuries all year last year, but I wanted to be able to have some good depth going into this season.
You guys have a really cool schedule this year because we know you can always play two SWAC teams that, you know, won't count against your conference record. And you get Southern and Grambling early. We're talking about September.
Wow.
Yeah, Southern and Grambling on the Jackson
September.
State. Yeah,
that's crazy. That is crazy. I mean, everybody knows about how that Southern game. If you was there last year in Baton Rouge, you know, that night game we played them on last year, and for them to turn around and be in Jackson this year, you know, we had an original kickoff for 1, you know, but we moved that game back to 6. So you talk about the eating and the tailgating and just the anticipation of that game.
And not 1,000 degrees.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but exciting. Then to go to get on the road to go face Coach Joseph and the Grambling Tigers down there at Grambling. You know, you walk down that hill and you know it's go time. You know, so you know September is about taking care of Louisiana. You know, we got to take care of those Louisiana schools, and that's how we've been emphasizing it.
I'm not going to lie to you. The last time I came to Jackson, I know I met with your SWA, Elise Kilbert, who I've known for a long time, Ashley Robinson,
awesome.
known a long time. I ate so much food before the game that I could not move. And then we had to do a broadcast, and then afterwards they said, "You want something to eat?" No, I'm full.
Did you buy out the grill at Stamps? Is that what you did?
The hospitality in Jackson is top notch. And you know, when you look at your administrative staff with Ashley Robinson and what he's been able to do, and of course Elise Kilbert, who's been the SWA there for a long time, just an amazing staff. There.
Not just football. all sports, they've been doing a great job, and they do a good job of getting us what we need to be successful. You talk about A.D. Robinson, A.D. Kilbert, they've been to places and had experienced success, and they know what it's supposed to look like. But at the same time, they demand us to, impact our student athletes, and they do a good job with that.
I just know if you go to a basketball game, back up because the scoreboard is big.
Oh, yeah, it's huge. You seen it?
I've seen it.
Yeah, that is crazy.
When you take a moment to breathe after that first season, and you've been there for the ride at Jackson State as a player, you're there as a coach, and that brand just, I won't say it exploded, it re-exploded, returned back to its stature. What did you think about that first year when you had a moment just to kind of think about it?
I always talk about we had goals of playing for a championship. Regardless of how many players that was my expectation. We wanted to play for a championship at Jackson State. The fans wanted it and we wanted it. But when you look back at it, losing that many players, replacing coaches and everything, you talk about 12 teams in the conference, only 5 I think had winning records, and we were one of those teams. And being my first year, I think that's something great to build on going into this season. So very excited about what this year has to come with the things that we've added to this football team.
Now, look, we will not be able to leave this place alive if we have a Jackson State conversation and we leave Charles Bishop over there twiddling his thumbs.
we call him Chuck.
I call him a lot of things.
That's my golf buddy, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, can I get a couple strokes on the golf course?
Whenever you go, hey, I need you back in Jackson. Do I need to come to Houston?
Either or works.
Okay, we'll work it out.
Quick question. You and I, we've had long talks about the way you look at an offense, but you're not married to a system. You talk about it is the Jimmys and Joes and getting the ball to players in space.
Yeah, oh, definitely. I mean, we got some really good skilled players in here. We upgraded big time there. You talk about that receiving core, the slew of running backs we have, but offensively, it comes down to those guys in the trenches, Chuck. You got to have those guys controlling the line of scrimmage. We talk about offensive line play. I think when whether it's offensive line, defensive line, those two, the team that's stronger in the trenches is the team that's going to play for a championship every year. We got close to 19 bodies on the offensive line in summer right now. You talk about Evan Henry that's here with me that's played a lot of football and experienced success. But go back to your question. We want to get guys in space. We wanted to build on the speed that we had this past season. We had to get faster. I think that kind of hindered us on the special teams. Why you didn't see those big punt returns, those kickoff returns. We just didn't have the speed. We got bigger at the receiver position. We got deeper there, and we talked about the quarterback play. But we want to play fast. That's what I was talking to Eddie Kelly about last night in the coaches meeting. How fast can you guys get the ball spotted? Because we want to get close to 80 plays a game and get these guys in space and let them be successful.
Well, Coach, an exciting season coming up for Jackson State. It starts early on. You got some big games coming up, and that night game against Southern coming to Jackson. It's got to be a big one.
Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Coach TCT, Coach Taylor joining us here on the SWAC Digital Network. It's the 2024 SWAC Football Media Day here in Birmingham. Back after this.
Get your grills out this summer with Pepsi, the official beverage of Grills Night Out.
Oh, that's dynamite.
It's not dynamite! Es dinamita. Go ahead. Try us.
When you join the HBCU family, you become part of the tradition of breaking barriers in your community, breaking ground in your career, and bringing it with everything you do. From how you look to how you move in the classroom, on the court, and on the field. That's why Academy Sports and Outdoors is proud to celebrate the HBCU legacy and all those to add to it in their own way.
We are exactly what you think. We are not at all what you think. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. General Motors, honored to sponsor the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
Back in Birmingham, the 2024 SWAC Football Media Day rolls on, and of course, you see folks who are out there in the area, just kind of, kind of enjoying themselves and getting themselves ready for the football season. Media enjoying themselves, and look, Tolly, this is going to be a big year.
I hope they don't eat all of our food, Santori.
I'm trying to tell you, look, because right now, my stomach is like on the other side of hungry. But I'm telling you, this is going to be a big year not only for the conference, it's going to be a big year for television for this conference. So many games are on the national platform with ESPN.
Yeah, and that's just the beginning. But of course, they get a lot of the attention. That is the big platform out there. And, it's going to start off with the MEAC SWAC Challenge. We're going to have that big game in Atlanta. It's going to be Norfolk State and FAMU. People are excited about that.
Absolutely. That'll be on ABC, and then South Carolina State and Florida A&M. That's going to be on Saturday, August the 31st. And you've got the Labor Day Classic between Texas Southern and Prairie View, North Carolina Central and Alabama State on ESPN. That is a Sunday game. Miles and Alabama State, September the 7th. And then September the 14th, Southern and Jackson State on ESPN+. And you see the rest of their schedule here going through the mid part of October. Jackson Grambling is going to be a big one. You see that one there. And then, of course, the State Fair Classic. That'll be on ESPN Plus Saturday, September the 28th. And man, how about that game towards the end of the month, at beginning of October, Alabama A&M at Jackson State? That ought to be a fun one over in Jackson.
Hey, FAMU and Alabama State. Like, who is really going to win the SWAC East? We might get some things figured out by October. That'll be a big one.
Yeah, that first week of October is going to be big. Alcorn Grambling, that could decide the West. FAM and Jackson, that's a big one.
Oh, no, we don't decide the West until November.
Well, that's going to be exactly.
You know how the West goes.
Well, you never know at the West.
It might be December before we figure out the West.
Magic City Classic on October the 26th. Southern and FAM October the 26th as well. Two big games that weekend. And, of course, you go to Pine Bluff and Jackson State, and then Texas Southern and Florida A&M going through the first weekend of November. And then, of course, you get into the latter part of the month. End of the month, Jackson State, Alcorn State. Of course, two teams, Mississippi Capital City Classic.
And you know how we're going to end it. We're going to end the season with the Celebration Bowl. It is the granddaddy of them all. It's going to be Saturday, December 14th. You kind of look at that schedule and you say to yourself, oh, that's a little early. Usually it's the third Saturday. But life changes, the business of college football changes, and you have to roll with the punches. And that is a perfect time to bring in our next guest here, Mr. John Grant, Executive Director of the Cricket Celebration Bowl, and a good brother from the state of North Carolina.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me here today.
Man, it's great to see you. Well, look, of course, we want to address the change first because there's been a lot of speculation of why it happened, but obviously with the expansion of the college football playoff, there had to be movement.
Absolutely. And that disruption was a ripple effect across the entire bowl ecosystem. Previously, there were 7 games on the same day as we were. All those games were moved off of that date to clear the way for the college football playoffs. But then you add to that the NFL added some games on that day as well. I mean, you got the Chiefs, reigning Super Bowl champions, against the Texans, and then
Taylor Swift's going to be there.
That's right. And then you have Pittsburgh and the Ravens, the Steelers and Ravens. So, adding all that together no one goes up against the NFL. You can't win there. So moving was the best option.
And it's no shame. It's just common sense.
It is what it is. And
Yeah.
so our responsibility, guys, and you've been great in supporting it, is really how do we protect the enterprise and how do we put it in the best possible position for it to continue to grow and thrive. And that's what we had to do.
And I think, the biggest thing is this game continues to see great numbers on television. It continues to see great support from its fans. And that's the most important thing is how do you continue to see the support from SWAC and MEAC fans?
Well, first of all, I'm sitting with the SWAC. SWAC has some of the best fans in the country. That's bar none. And this competition, this rivalry, this matchup between the MEAC and SWAC conferences, the two Division I HBCU conferences, is just one that has been long-standing. Our objective, though, is to make sure that we're always focused forward on giving fans, the student athletes, the viewers, the best possible experience that they can get. And that means we're constantly having to innovate. We're constantly having to look to do new things. And secondly, that we don't do things that others are doing. Mm-hmm. We find the things that aren't being done, and we try to incorporate those into the experience.
And, we got the MEAC SWAC Challenge that's coming up. It's going to be FAMU and Norfolk State. Dawson Odoms is back in the mix. SWAC fans love to have a good Dawson Odoms conversation.
Absolutely.
He's got plenty of SWAC hours left on his resume from his time at Southern. That's going to be an exciting game, man, FAM and Norfolk.
It is. I mean, the first time in the history of the MEAC SWAC Challenge, now the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge, that we've had the reigning national champion be a part of opening the bowl season. Opening the college football season. And so with Florida A&M having captured the national championship last year, we couldn't have predicted that they would be in this game because it was scheduled in 2019. That's when we put this schedule together. But them matched up against the Norfolk State, who has not played in Atlanta before, is going to be exciting.
Yeah, and I was going to ask about that. There's a lot of firsts in this game this year. And Norfolk State, I think a lot of people, they don't really see them a lot in the SWAC footprint. And for them to come to Atlanta, I think is great. When you look at the tradition they have, the band, you always see them on, social media and things. But for them to come to the South, I think is really going to be a different experience.
Behold, Atlanta.
The green and gold.
Yeah.
This one is also a part of a new series that ESPN is launching this year, which is Saturday Night College Football Live on ABC. And there are going to be a series of games throughout the season that are going to be on ABC primetime on Saturday night, especially with our ESPN's partnership with the SEC. But the Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge is the first game of that series. So to be in primetime Saturday night on a major network speaks volumes for these two institutions, the stage they'll be on, and for HBCUs.
Now, look, there's influence. I can't say it's 100% the reason why, but when you look at the number one FCS team that attracted the most FBS transfers, it was far and away FAMU.
Mm-hmm.
So you got players out there watching, and they're maybe looking for a new home. It doesn't hurt to win a national championship on ABC for your exposure level.
It doesn't, and to do it in a very exciting way.
Oh yeah.
Because that Celebration Bowl is ranked in my mind among several that all went down to the wire, that were nail biters to the end. And my hats off to the Rattlers for pulling it out in wonderful fashion.
Absolutely. So, of course, you got the Celebration Bowl, you got the SWAC MEAC Challenge. You continue to grow the footprint of college football in Atlanta. Now you've got two other things that come to the city that involve the SWAC with the baseball tournament and then this year the basketball tournament. Even though they're not football, it really grows the brand because the SWAC is now not just those two games, it's now year long.
Absolutely. And one thing that we haven't talked about is our Band of the Year, the national championship that we launched last year for HBCU marching bands. So, a season-long competition where we have a committee of experts that rank that are evaluating band performances through the season, putting out a ranking each month, and the top two, Division II and Division I's, get to compete for a national title on the Friday night before the Cricket Celebration Bowl. So the fact that we're constantly, again, trying to innovate, that event is an inclusive event because it includes all the conferences, even the non-HBCU conferences. So North Carolina A&T, Tennessee State, Hampton, they are all as independents, as well as the NAIA schools are a part of that as well. So we're looking to make sure again that we're adding an inclusive experience for fans, and we, without question, believe that Atlanta is the best place to continue to grow our sports portfolio. Happy to see the SWAC entering the market with some with baseball and basketball, and to continue to with Atlanta being just a top media market anyway, it's the right move for the SWAC to make, and hats off to Commissioner McClellan for that.
And look, you do get a little more cushion between the Celebration Bowl and Christmas.
Yeah,
people might land one more paycheck. Yeah, looking at the positives.
There are a lot of things that are going to be great, in my opinion, with the move for the bowl game up 1 week. Number one, we're out of the clutter. Number two, the only game right now that's on that date is the Army-Navy game, which is on CBS at 3:30. We'll still be kicking off at noon. It, again, puts us in a position to open bowl season. That is critically important for the success of the bowl game. And then, most importantly, we're going to get to draft off of College Game Day, because that weekend is College Game Day's last game until the national championship game. So game day will be on from 9 until 12. We'll come on at 12 o'clock. They'll have people in Atlanta, even though the show will broadcast from the Army-Navy. They'll be cutting into Atlanta to interview coaches and players through that show. So that's an added benefit that we'll get that we did not have where we were.
A great lead-in. That's TV 101.
Correct. So it all makes sense. And then, let me say this also. I want to thank you guys because you keep the lights on. You keep the lights on for properties like the Celebration Bowl, like the MEAC SWAC Challenge, like what the SWAC is doing in baseball, and now bringing basketball, and what's happening with the MEAC, and how all of these properties continue to grow and get exposure because of you. You're talking about it 24/7, 365 days a year. So my hat's off to you, and thank you for that commitment.
Absolutely. Well, look, when HBCUs win, everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
And so it's just so important when you talk about how important the footprint is of HBCUs, especially the SWAC, and how important it is to make sure that you keep the conversation always going. And, look, it's going to be a great year for football. When you look at a lot of these different games, classics that are going on, and then to book in MEAC SWAC Challenge with a lot of history there. Celebration Bowl will make history at the end. Can't beat that.
Well, one thing I shared with Commissioner Goodell when he was at the game in 2022, we were standing on the sidelines, and I did ask the question. I said, so, Commissioner, did you come to see what the Super Bowl really looked like? Of course, he chuckled, and my response was, no, this is our Super Bowl. And he said, I can see that. But, John, you can't use the word Super Bowl. That's trademark to us, granted. But the point being made is we have a national championship bowl-level game that's really second to none.
Absolutely. John, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
John Grant, he, of course, you got the Celebration Bowl and the MEAC SWAC Challenge. He's a busy man in Atlanta joining us here at SWAC Football Media Day. We'll take a timeout back here in Birmingham after this.
Get your grills out this summer with Pepsi, the official beverage of Grills Night Out.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
Back in Birmingham for the 2024 SWAC Football Media Day. It's now time to take a look at what the Jackson State University players look like for this year. Let's take it to Charles Bishop, who's with two of the representatives now.
Santori, if you know anything about the history of Jackson State football, it's always strong offensive line play, salty defense. Got a couple of members down here. Evan Henry, talk a little bit about your offensive line unit.
It's just great to be back, returning 4 guys. As you know, when a team returns 4 starters, it's very easy for them to get back to playing great football. We have a lot of guys in that room that's hungry and ready to play.
And you got some backs back there too, huh?
Oh, our running back room is ridiculous. I think at the end of the day, we're going to show how dominant we can be in the run game.
Aside, when we talk about Jackson State football, defense is what comes up. You're anchoring this unit. Talk a little bit about your personnel.
We got guys. We got guys, man. We like you said, man, we're bringing back a lot of guys, almost 9 guys we're bringing back. And so, like you said, when you're bringing that amount of guys back, you're looking to play dominant football. You're looking to get back to a way that you just pick right up where you left off. And that's just what we're looking to do.
Jackson State Tiger fan base hungry to get back to Atlanta for the Celebration Bowl. Back to you guys.
All right, back here in Birmingham, and of course, we've got the head coach of Alabama A&M University, Connell Maynard. This jacket is amazing. I just want to just say that, Coach.
Thank you, man.
Only you can pull that off, man.
Appreciate it.
Well, Coach,
the dean.
I know
The dean. How did you become the most tenured head coach in the SWAC?
I don't know, looking like I'm 30. I don't know how that happened, man. I don't know how that happened. but you know what? I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed to be in the SWAC for 7 years, at Alabama A&M for 7 years. I owe that to my president, Dr. Daniel K. Williams, my athletic director, Paul Bryant, in the Alabama A&M fan alumni base. I don't take it for granted. It's truly a blessing. In this day and age where they want to get rid of coaches in 2 and 3 in 1 year and want you to win right now and win every year, it's truly a blessing.
Well, Coach, we look at several teams in the SWAC, and they've got big-time opponents to start the year. You're no different. You are at Auburn to start the 2024 season.
Yeah, we are a great SEC team. They're the best conference in college football, the SEC, and Auburn. And I think people say Auburn is the toughest place to play on the road in the SEC, or one of them. So we got to go to Auburn, of course. And what we want to do in that game is we want to be competitive as long as we can. But we want to get out of there healthy. We want to make sure that Donovan Eagling don't get hurt or Amari Pate don't get hurt and can't compete in the SWAC. And so we want to play as hard as we can and be competitive as long as we can, but we want to get out of that game healthy.
And Eagling, he's your guy. He's your workhorse on carrying the ball. What type of role will he continue to play in your offense?
He will have that same role. If he had a type season that we want, because we want to run the ball, he'll be over 1,000 yards. And the key to that is him staying healthy, and us be able to get them some breaks. We don't want them to have the ball 35 times. 25 times is good, and we get somebody else 10 or 15 carries, and we can pound that ball in there 30, 35 times a game. That's going to help us out tremendously. That's going to make them load the box. That give us one-on-one coverage outside, and then our quarterbacks and receivers have to execute when they get the one-on-one matchups.
Coach, when you look at your schedule, you don't see a SWAC opponent until week 5 when you play at Florida A&M. So the first 4 weeks of the season, you've got some interesting opponents, including Kentucky State, Georgetown, and Austin Peay. Talk about the philosophy behind the scheduling.
Well, we had Fayetteville. We thought we was going to have Fayetteville State, and so they backed out, so we had to get Georgetown to get another game. But, of course, the Auburn game is a money game. And then we want to get a D2. We always try to get a D2 if it's Miles or Tuskegee or somebody in there. And like I said, we had to replace Georgetown with Fayetteville State. And Austin Peay is
from 2 years ago. We did a home and away. They came to us 2 years ago, so now we got to go to them this year. So that's where the non-conference schedule came from. Looking forward to it. You know, Austin Peay is a playoff team, so we want to send a message not only to the FCS but the SWAC and everybody else that we got a good football team and we can compete if we had to go that route.
Do you think you can play one quarterback this year?
Of course, I can play one quarterback. I would love to play one quarterback.
What will dictate that?
One quarterback playing well. You know, if you go out there and execute, you're throwing touchdowns, you're getting his first downs, you're moving the chains, you're making the right reads, there's no reason for me to replace you. You know, unless it's a blowout situation, then we get the other guy in the game. But, yeah, I don't like to do two quarterbacks because that means you're not satisfied or happy with one, in my opinion. So it's like, I think I said this last year, if you want and you want, some of the receivers going to like you, some of the receivers going to like you. Some of the O-line going to like you, some of the O-line going to like you. Some of the defensive players going to like you, some of the defensive players going to like you. So when you play two quarterbacks, in my opinion, you're splitting your team up. Anytime this guy mess up, this guy over here, I told you which call should be in there. I don't like him. And then when this guy mess up, it's the same thing. So you kind of, in my opinion, I think you split the team when you do that because everybody going to have their favorite who they want in there. Therefore, you kind of splitting your team. So, and I would love to just play one quarterback. I want to just play one quarterback. The only reason I play two quarterbacks is because I have to. One is not playing well enough.
Depth. I know that's one thing you always talk about is how important depth is on the team. And I want to start on the offensive side of the ball first, especially when you start taking a look at the offensive line. What were some of the things that you addressed in recruiting when you looked at the depth of the team, especially on offense? Well,
Offensive line was not one. We're loaded offensive line. That's probably going to be the strength of our team is the offensive line, and we're pleased for those guys to be able to run behind them, and then for those guys to be able to protect the quarterback. The quarterback is the question mark. Wide receivers is not really a question mark. You know, we just got to stay healthy at wide receiver. You know, we can't afford 2 or 3 injuries at the wide receiver position. If we can stay healthy at the wide receiver position with the starters, and then we got quality backups that can fill in, we'll be fine there. But like Carson Vincent, you know, he's second team, right? He's projected to go in the 4th round of the NFL draft next year. He's a projected 4th-round pick, and he's number 2. Okay, how can you be number 1 and 2 in offense every year and never get any offensive lineman on all-conference team? How can you have a Donovan Eagling that's been in all-conference every year, but you don't get no offensive lineman on all-conference team? That don't even make sense. It don't even add up that you have a top offense, you have a top running game, you have top quarterbacks, but your linemen don't never make it. I mean, how do you guys vote? What's wrong with them? I mean, I don't understand that. So it is what it is. You know, like I always tell my players, you know, you can prove somebody right or you can prove them wrong. So if somebody didn't vote for you or you didn't make it, then prove them wrong and make it and show them. Okay, now when they do vote for you, you got to prove them right and produce and say, yeah, they was right about me. So it's always a challenge. It's always competing. It's always opportunity. And it's always something there that you can get some energy from to motivate your players.
Well, I'm just glad I don't have a vote in anything.
Yeah, that's right. I don't have to worry about voting at all.
At all. Coach, you voted on these guys to be a member of your team over here just off stage to the right. We're going to hear from them in a second with Charles Bishop. Tell us about these two guys over here.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, Bishop or me? Him.
You tell us about him, and then Bishop will talk to
Okay, yeah, Donovan Eagling, man, you know, be his 3rd season here with us, and, again, he's preseason, second team, and we're looking forward to him to be, at the end of the season, first team, and going over 1,500 yards to 2,000 yards. And then Amari Pate, of course, we want him to lead the league in the nation in interceptions and get a couple pick six. He's a big-time player, got great hands, ball, great hand-eye coordination. You know, most DBs play DB because they can't catch. This guy can catch. You know, he can catch. So, you know, I challenged him last year with his tackling, and you know, he missed a tackle and said, "Coach, it ain't gonna happen again." And He met around having about 8 or 9 tackles that game. But he missed one. I got on him, and he didn't do it again. So I'm pleased to have both of these guys on my team.
Charles Bishop talking with both of those guys now from Alabama A&M.
Yeah, down here with not just two of the best in the SWAC, but in all of FCS football, hard-running Donovan Eaglin. Coach kind of gave you a benchmark, 1,500 yards.
Yes, sir. I mean, that's the goal. The goal is always to exceed that goal, so 1,500 plus is always the goal.
Now, you guys won the SWAC championship in 2020. What's it going to take to kind of get you guys to host the SWAC championship in Huntsville?
It's just going to take for all of us to be, according, just all be one, coaching, team, everybody. So just all of us coming together, working hard, and just going out there and doing it.
Amari, a lot of preseason magazines have you as one of the top safeties in the nation. Talk about what it is to kind of anchor this Alabama A&M defensive unit.
It's great to be able to anchor the defensive unit and have people, behind me, like younger people. So it just feels great to be able to anchor it and be the leader and bring everybody together.
Same question. Trying to bring SWAC championship to Huntsville, what's it going to take for this defensive unit?
It's going to take for all of us to play as one and 11 to fly to the ball every game and every play.
These guys are talking about it. They're starving to get back to the SWAC championship. Back to you guys.
All right, sounds like two players who have been listening to their coaches quite a bit about what to do. Hey, we're going to take a time out here. When we come back, Southern University is on the clock. We'll hear from Jaguar Land as we are here at the 2024 SWAC Football Media Day in Birmingham.
To all you voters,
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
You can't handle the heat, Pops.
Dad, you're getting cooked out there.
Yes, Coach.
I'm sorry to say, you're being traded to Montana.
But I'm your father.
That's why this is so hard.
What team is in Montana?
Oh, that's dynamite.
It's not dynamite! Es dinamita. Go ahead. Try us.
Get your girls out this summer with Pepsi, the official beverage of Girls Night Out.
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
The SWAC, the premier athletic conference in the nation. A collection of schools rich in tradition, pride, and pedigree. Sacrifice, winning, allegiance, champions. We are the SWAC, building champions for life.
We are exactly what you think. We are not at all what you think. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. General Motors, honored to sponsor the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Oh, hold on.
Back here in Birmingham, it's the 2024 SWAC Football Media Day as we roll on. And, of course, we've got about 5 teams remaining. We've got Southern Bethune, Pine Bluff Valley, and Texas Southern still on the docket. Tolly Carr here on the set. You know, Tolly, look, every year we talk to these coaches, and, you know, it's the beginning. It's a new start for several of these coaches, several of these teams. But now I think that the biggest thing for a lot of these coaches is that it's not only about what they're bringing in, but it's also what they're showing the world, because there's so much television that's going on with this conference.
Yeah, we talked about the ESPN schedule, but in the last couple of years, we've had another big player, and that's HBCU Go, the outfit from Byron Allen. Not only do you get to see these games digitally, but over the air on the Griot. Santori, it is a great feeling to be at home. You ain't got to worry about your cable, just the good old analog reception. And you can watch HBCU football. It is a great thing, man. So a diverse package that HBCU Go has for everyone this year. And it starts out, look, Tuskegee, Grambling State. You might think, oh, that's a D2 matchup. There's some history there.
There's a lot of history there. As a matter of fact, when you take a look at the founders of Grambling State University, Charles P. Adams, he was sent by Booker T. Washington, then the president of Tuskegee, to help found a university for an HBCU university in North Louisiana, and that university, Grambling State. And then, of course, Southern will take on Savannah State September the 7th, Pine Bluff, Tennessee State. That'll be a big game, and that's going to be September the 14th, and then Clark and Bethune, September the 21st. Moving on in September and then October, Bethune will be seen twice. You can see Alabama State, Bethune, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Alcorn. That'll be their homecoming. Bethune and Alabama A&M, that'll be their homecoming, a month of homecomings on HBCU Go. Grambling's homecoming will be October the 19th against Pine Bluff, and then Bethune's homecoming October the 26th against Jackson State University.
Yeah, the October lineup is your homecoming lineup. We get into November, we got Southern, Alabama A&M. That'll be a good one. Valley, Jackson State, Mississippi Valley State again taking on FAMU. We cannot emphasize there's going to be a new field at Mississippi Valley State this year. They got some good things happening down there. Alabama A&M will make the trip, and then Texas Southern and UAPB right before Thanksgiving there on HBCU Go.
All right, so it's now time to talk to the head coach of Southern University, good friend of mine also, Terrence Graves, now down in Baton Rouge. Coach Graves, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Sam, for having me. Good to see you, Tyler.
Yeah, look, he's your good friend. He's my classmate.
We're classmates. Lived on the same floor at Winston-Salem State.
Yeah.
Brown Hall.
How'd you put up with him, man?
He was always good. He was always a good guy.
Look, it was the football dorm. I didn't say nothing, man.
No, it was the boys' dorm, but we had a lot of football players stay there.
Yeah, it was the football dorm.
Well, Coach, of course, last year 6-5, third in the division. You take over taking over as the head coach. When you take a look at what you wanted to do coming in as far as recruiting, what were some of the first things you wanted to get done?
First thing, we wanted to sign some offensive linemen and get some other, fill some voids in secondary, because we had a void there. We lost a number of guys in the secondary, so we wanted to make sure that we got some guys in that could go through the spring, as well as got some guys in the summertime, over the course of the spring and the summer. So we did a great job. Our coaching staff did a great job of addressing those needs.
And you love to dial up some of the greatest SWAC defenses we have seen. How important was it to get the right guys to be able to execute what you want to do out there defensively?
Well, of course, I'm a disciple of Coach Pete Richardson, and from my Winston-Salem State days, defense was the thing. So, and here at Southern University, defense was the thing. So, offense sell tickets, but defense wins championships. So, you gotta always get the right pieces. And our defensive coordinator Henry Miller and the coaching staff on the defensive side of the ball, they do a tremendous job of getting those guys prepared and ready to go.
Well, one of the things I know that's going to be what's so important is to find the coaches that were going to fit your style as well. Talk about that.
Well, I always dreamed of when I became a head coach, I always prayed and asked the Lord to make sure that he put the right people around me to do the things that I wanted to get done in terms of being successful. And he did just that. We made a few changes on the staff, but for the most part, everybody was in place. And then to be able to add a young man that I coached at Southern University, and then I coached with the offensive coordinator, Mark Frederick. I watched him grow. as a player. I watched him grow as a man. I watched him grow as a coach. And he's a great offensive mind. He's a great man. He's a great leader. So I had an opportunity to bring him back home. We jumped at it. And we used to talk about it all the time. And then to have the addition of Coach McNair, Fred McNair, Fred and I are friends. I've always respected Fred, and I loved how Fred always went about the business of being a head coach and representing the program and representing HBCUs in general. And so the opportunity came. Of course, I had Coach Totten, my frat brother, Willie Totten. He's been a head coach before, and he's legendary. Coach Everett Todd was our defensive coordinator when we were at Grambling, and Coach Todd's been a head coach. Quick fact, Coach Todd is the first black junior college head coach in the Texas junior college system. Wow. And he did well there, and he's a veteran coach. So, and Coach Sean Wallace and Coach Chris Scott and Coach DeMarcus Miller, Coach Damon Nivens, Coach Quentin Burrell. Am I missing anybody?
You don't even have to go down to the offensive room. You can just leave that on autopilot down there.
So, to have those guys, to have every coach, Coach DeMarcus Miller, to have those guys on the staff, and I've either coached those guys on my staff, and then I've coached with those guys, or I've coached against. But for the most part, I have 3 coaches that I've coached, about 2 coaches that I coach with, and then a couple coaches that I coached against. So it's a blessing. They're great men. They're great leaders, and they're great people, and they have bought into the vision that we have here for Southern University and what we want to do, and you can see it as it permeates throughout the team. And so it's a blessing and an honor to have those men on my staff.
Well, I was going to ask you, Coach, what does that mean to see guys that you coached at one point in time and now they're on your staff as coaches?
It means that I've been doing this a long time. It means I'm getting older. I used to laugh when Coach Richardson used to say that. And he'd look at me and he said, man, I done coached this boy, and now he's doing this. And now he said, man, I've been around a long time. And then I look up and I said, man, I coached these guys. And, man, I've been, it's 32 years. So, and it speaks to doing it the right way in the process. And it's almost like having sons. You have them and you watch them grow and they matriculate. I'm so, I have to catch myself when I look at Coach Frederick and Coach Nivens and Coach DeMarcus Miller, those 3 guys that I coached at Southern University, and we coached together at some point in time, and to see those guys, see those guys now doing what they do, it's awesome.
Well, Coach, you have done it the right way, and you've treated people well along the way, and you can tell that because there's so many different communities of friends that you've made that support you. I mean, just yesterday, an old classmate drove up here just to see you. Yeah. You've had relationships at Valley, at Grambling, at Southern, of course, at Winston-Salem State. And just to see I see it online, all of your friends are so happy for you.
Well, the Bible says in order to have friends, you must show yourself friendly. And so I've always been a people person. And so everywhere I've been, from Winston-Salem to Southern, to Mississippi Valley, to Norfolk State, to Grambling, back to Southern, I've always been, my parents did a great job of teaching me to never be more than anyone else, and to always be the best me that I can be. And so I'm just me, and people tend to gravitate to who I am, and I try to make sure that I'm always someone that I'm pleasant. I'm always trying to uplift people. I'm always trying to help people, I just got to be the best me that I can be, and I got to be me because everybody else is taken. So it's always been, my mother always used to say that I don't meet any strangers, even when I was a little boy. So, it's just a carryover from me growing up, and it's my personality. So I'm going to continue to be the same person that I've always been.
Well, let's start talking about this team on the defensive side. Kelby Givens comes back, tremendous leader, and really does so much on the field.
Yeah, Kelby's I've been knowing Kelby since he was about 5 years old, and Kelby is a tremendous leader. He works at it. I'll tell you this. He asked me Sunday what time we were leaving yesterday to come to Birmingham, and I told him, and the first thing he said, Coach, we're not going to get to run with the team. We're not going to be able to lift. And I said, nah, I said, we're going to miss today and tomorrow, but you'll get to make it up. So that's not something that he just says to be saying it. He lives that, and he wants to be great on and off the field in the community. And those are the three things that we talk about: being champions on and off the field and in the community. And Kelby, along with those other guys, they really exemplify that.
You always took advantage of the opportunity. You've had a couple of different chances to be interim coach, and you always took advantage of that opportunity. Now to finally get this position to be the head coach at an iconic brand like Southern University, just how excited are you to start this season?
I'm very excited. Who would have thought? I was just doing an interview, and I said, who would have thought that Terrence Graves from Norfolk, Virginia, from Park Place, came to Baton Rouge in 1994, would still be at Southern University in Baton Rouge in 2024. And it's exciting, to have this opportunity. I've been preparing for this day to become a head coach. Didn't know where. It really did not matter, because as long as I was a head coach at an HBCU, I felt like that was what it was about, because I love being an HBCU head coach period. And I'm thankful for Southern University for giving me this opportunity to lead this program at this particular time. I'm there, and we want to be able to put on a great show and come out victorious because of it's a state school, and because of we recruit a lot of the same players. So we're looking forward to it. I know that they're going to be fired up, and they're going to be ready to go, and just kicking off their season at home. So we just have to be ready. We have to be ready to go come August 31st.
Coach, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
All right, go Jags.
Head coach Terrence Graves of the Southern University Jaguars. Now it's time to join Charles Bishop with players from Southern University.
Yeah, down here with Chandler Whitfield and Kelby Gibbons. Chandler, Fred McNair and Willie Totten both on staff. The wide receiver unit, you guys should be the happiest down there.
Yeah, for sure. We happy to have them, especially Coach Fred McNair. Coach Fred McNair got great experience, winning championships, winning games, especially as a head coach. So to add that with Coach Graves and the coaches that we have, that's great firepower for us, and they are great, great men with great morals. Yeah, we're respected.
How's it been thus far, Coach Graves leading the helm?
Oh, great. Great. Coach Graves be full of energy, a positive man, always bringing energy even when we down. He just, team now, that's what we go by. So that's our lit thing.
No doubt. Kelby, you'll be leading this year's version of the Dog Day defense. Talk about your personnel.
I'm excited. The guys that we had a good amount of people coming back. I'm excited, especially about the people up front. Just to name a few: Zach Yassine, Darius Harry, Willie Miles, Davin Cotton, just to name a few. So I'm excited. We want to be fast, physical, and tough.
Guys, what's the goal?
Atlanta. ATL.
Saturday night in Baton Rouge hosting the SWAC championship. Does that sound exciting?
Ain't nothing like it.
Man, you seen my reaction when you had said that at first. I'm so excited, but the only way we're going to get there is August 31st.
No doubt about it. But there you have it. Those are the goals for the Southern Jaguars, Jag Nation. Everybody starving for a championship, but especially these guys. They can't wait to get this thing started.
Absolutely. Not only great players on the field, but, Coach, great students as well.
Yes. It's Coach Richardson taught us that you can be as great as you want to be on that field, but you got to go to class and get those books and get that degree, because that's something that's going to sustain you longer than any sport that you play. And I preach that, and I enforce that, and our guys, is, one thing about it, I've always took it personal growing up when we had that moniker or labeled as a dumb jock. So I did everything in my power to dispel that, and I poured it into our team. I said, I want us to be great on and off the field. That's in the classroom, that's in the community, as well as the field, because when you have those three components, then that's the recipe for success.
Well, let me ask something real quick, Santori. I had a chance to see you play firsthand for Coach Richardson. What is one of the coaching elements that you've taken from Coach Richardson that sticks with you?
The tenacity. I've always been a very physical guy, Coach is the ultimate competitor, but he's like a quiet assassin around people that don't know him. But Coach is the ultimate competitor, and he always, Coach's thing was at Winston, we always wanted to break your will to compete. So that's something that I've always held on to. And he always said, special teams, playing discipline for 60 minutes, playing sound defense, and scoring the ball on offense is a great recipe for championship. So that's something that I can't get away from, and I'm grateful to have.
Coach Graves, thank you so much, brother.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a short timeout. When we come back, Arkansas Pine Bluff is on the clock here in Birmingham. It's the 2024 SWAC Football Media Day.
Get your girls out this summer with Pepsi, the official beverage of Girls' Night Out.
Is this what you want? These crunchy ridges?
Yes, Coach!
If you want to secure the bag, then step it up.
Does he know there's more Ruffles in the pantry?
You want these chips? Keep practicing.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
Oh, that's dynamite.
It's not dynamite! Es dinamita. Go ahead. Try us.
The SWAC, the premier athletic conference in the nation. A collection of schools rich in tradition, pride, and pedigree. Sacrifice, winning, allegiance, champions. We are the SWAC, building champions for life.
They lost the.
Oh, it's reversed.
Back here in Birmingham, it's the 2024 SWAC Football Media Day. Glad you could join us here on our telecast on the SWAC Digital Network. And we want to thank all of our fine sponsors, Academy Sports and Outdoors. Make sure that you get your gear at Academy for things that you do on the outside. Academy Sports and Outdoors, proud supporters of the SWAC. And by GM, proud supporters and official sponsor of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. By the Home Depot, retool your school now. Go to the Home Depot and find out how you can help retool your school. And by Pepsi, official beverage of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. By Nike. Nike, proud supporters of the SWAC. And we're back here on our set here at the Sheraton Hotel in Birmingham, Alabama, 2024 SWAC Football Media Day. It marks the beginning of the season, end of vacations for most coaches, if they took one. And Coach Alonzo Hampton from Arkansas Pine Bluff. Coach, do you take a break?
I do not take a break. You know what? I did. I dropped my son off at Clemson. He's a freshman defensive back, so that was my break for 3 days.
Now, what was that like dropping your son off, at Clemson, getting ready to play football?
Well, it's great. He's the last one. So it's the baby. So we're excited to get him out of the house. We've done it a couple of years before. My other son played at Northwestern, the Big Ten, and then he was wrapping up. He was at Tulane this year, finishing his master's, playing his last year there. So, man, we're excited.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's gone.
Now, Coach Hampton, no matter what happened on the field last year, you always came back with energy, optimism. It was just an infectious energy. Where do you get that from?
I get that from my mom. I mean, obviously, she was a minister. My stepdad was a deacon, raised in the church. And man, when God wakes you up, man, that's a blessing. And a lot of people take what we do for granted. It's just football, right? And so at the end of the day, man, I truly believe God's called me to be a mentor, educator. And so I get a chance to wake up every day to show people how good God has been. And so regardless of what I'm faced with or what I'm going through, you ain't gonna never see me down. And I'm always be smiling. I always tell people, you're gonna see a shiny head and some pretty white teeth.
Well, Coach, one of the things is, Tyler's right. Your energy is just infectious, and when you talk to your team and you talk to the coaches, they just say he's got so much energy and so much of a positive outlook on life, and it just, your attitude has spread to the teams.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, like, I ain't supposed to be here. Okay, and I know that's not ain't a word as a school teacher. I know better than that, but I'm not supposed to be here. If the devil had his way, I'd have been dead a long time ago. And when I share this with my players, I share it with everybody. When I was 3 years old, my mom got shot and killed by her sister's husband. My father was shot and killed by his nephew when I was a 5th grader. And he had remarried, but my mother had moved on, and she came back to raise me. And I was in the 5th grade on the 3rd grade reading level. But it wasn't because I didn't know what to do. Nobody ever really showed me. And my daddy had 2 more boys and a sister. I was a baby. So he was raising us by himself. And so she came back and she put me in the church, and man, we was in church all day. Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. And so that's where my love, that's where my passion comes from, because I know that God had a calling on my life. And so when I went to college, man, I became the class president, in high school, and I ran track and I played football in college. Then I had a chance to play in the NFL. Like, I ain't supposed to be here. But God has always ordered my steps. So now, to start out as a volunteer coach at UAPB, within a year, they hired me full-time. Within 2 years, I was a defensive coordinator. So I took that opportunity God gave me and go on internship in the NFL. And then I go to Western Kentucky for 2 years. We go to the first bowl game in the history of the program. Now you see what that program is. Go to University of South Florida. We win 11 games, the most in the history of the program. You see where that program is. Then I had a chance to coach at the University of Oregon, and then go to Florida State. So I've been blessed. So I'm going to wake up every day with a smile on my face. And I tell our players, I tell our coaches, listen, if you can't smile, then you're in the wrong building, because I can't have negativity around me.
Oh, we're going to pass the offering plate on that. That'll preach.
Well, Coach, you guys finished 2-9 last year.
Yes, sir.
I know that you have the faith that it's going to turn around.
Yes, sir.
What actions are required to turn that around?
Well, actions that are required is we got to get better players. And so we lost some really good players. A couple of them went to Northern Illinois. One went to Cincinnati. But we've been able to retool. We're going to bring in about 50 guys. And I signed about 18 high school guys that are really good football players. Then I took about 25 guys out of the portal. And what I'm saying is, when we start on July the 28th, it's going to be 50 new guys coming in. We've got about 52 guys on campus right now. And I think one of the most important things that I was able to do is, besides recruit these young men, is I hired Tony Hull. He was at Grambling as the OC. We worked together at University of Louisiana Monroe, my alma mater, for 2 years. And I think Grambling just had the preseason player of the year. Well, he was coached by Coach Tony Hull. Tony Hull's one of the smartest dudes I know. And I tried to hire him when I first got the job, but Grambling not bid me. And so, God, I tell people, God look out for fools, babies, and Alonzo Hampton. So he gave me Tony this year. And so Tony's done a great job with our guys, and we got some pieces in place. And hopefully he can work some magic with our quarterbacks. And then, defensively, we played well for 3 quarters in every game. And so now that takes some pressure off us. But we got some really good players on defense that you guys don't know about. Niles Lukeman, I didn't put him up for any awards. He had 4.5 sacks in 2 games, but he sprained his MCL. Tulsa couldn't block him. Tennessee State couldn't block him. He can flat out play. And so all we're going to do is work. Our motto is earn our respect. We restored the pride. We had over 70% of our football team, over 3.0 GPA. And so we're doing all the little things. We're building a solid foundation. And like I said, I'm from Southeast Arkansas, born and raised. So ain't nobody going to run me off. If you run me anywhere, I'm running back home. So what are we talking about? So ain't no pressure. We just playing football.
How do you quickly get 50 new faces, into your culture, into your system?
Well, what you do is you have guys like Elijah Jenkins, Damon Dawkins, guys that have been around. They understand who Coach Hampton is, okay? Our program is built off of pride, accountability, trust. But we put God first. And that's what I'm counting on. I'm not counting on me. I'm counting on them to see the God in me, that they do what I tell them to do because God is telling me what to do. And just trusting the God to your right and to your left. And we know, man, God don't care who win the game. But I do tell you this. All he wants us to do is honor each other, be a great teammate on and off the field. And that's what we've been able to do. So we got to get these 50 players in, and the guys that's already there, they got to show them the way. And once we do that, man, hey, I tell everybody, we got 4. We got Arkansas starting it off. It's the Arkansas tour. Then we got Arkansas Baptist coming to us. Then we go to Memphis, and we got Southern Heritage Class, got Tennessee State. Then we come back home, we got UCA. So now we got another, month to get together. So we got about 60 days to piece this thing all together. Then we get a bye week before we play the first conference game. So again, guys looking out for us again. We're going to be okay. We're just going to get those kids in there, love them up, and show them what this is. This is the golden line way. And so if everybody does that, we talk about being on a never-ending journey. Every day you got to wake up and find a way to become better today than we were yesterday.
Coach, I want to ask you about your offense, first of all. That's where I know there's a lot of things that you talked about when you want to build on your offense. When you look at some of the players that are coming in and coming back, what is your thoughts on your offense?
Well, we added 2 really good running backs. One coming from Tennessee Tech. O.J. Ross came from Cocoa High School in Florida. All they do is win state championships. He's a really good football player. He's lightning quick. Then we got a guy, Elijah Crockett, that was a walk-on at Alabama, played in junior college. He's coming. Then we got a guy, that Jonas Davis, that was, UPS runner of the week a couple weeks for us, but he got injured, so he's back as well. And then we got B.J. Kerr, who's a really good running back for us. So we got some offensive weapons that you guys don't even know about, some guys that we've signed. We went into Florida, grabbed a couple players that were at some Group of 5 schools that's going to come and be able to help us out. And then, obviously offensive line. We want to be able to play fast but keep the game simple for our players. And I think that's where in this league, I've coached in this league a long time, 4 years. Most people don't change very much. And so what I want our players to do, I'm a school teacher, Coach Hull's a school teacher. I want to keep the game very simple. Put lesson plans on the board, let the players see the lesson plan, and you teach it. Okay? If somebody's not learning it, find another way to teach it. So it ain't about us, it's about our players.
I would imagine when you're on the recruiting trail and you're in the living room, those mothers within the first 30 seconds are saying, all right, you're going with him.
Yeah.
I'm sending you with him.
Well, all I tell people is this. All I can be is me, and I share this with them. You're looking at a guy that has got it out the mud, worked his tail off, because I had parents that showed me the right way. But then, better yet, let me show you my kids, okay? I got a son that graduated from Baylor in applied mathematics. I got a son that graduated from Northwestern, played in 2 Big Ten championships. I got another son that's going to Clemson as a freshman, okay? I got a daughter that graduated in business. So I'm telling you, I'm going to treat your kids like I treat mine. They know I don't play. I check grades. Okay, Coach Hampton check grades. They know. That's why over 70% of our football team got over 3.0. If you don't go to class, you ain't going to play. So I'm going to treat your kids just like mine. Okay, I'm not trying to replace you. I'm just trying to send them back to you better than what you send them to me. And so all I know is just to be real. People do a lot of, well, you don't want to go to Pine Bluff, it's this and that. I can tell you this. Pine Bluff been good to Coach Hampton. They gave me an opportunity to coach college football, and I took that opportunity and I went out and did something great. And now I get a chance. They blessed me to be able to come back, and that's to walk in that building every day and to be able to get us back to where it used to be, 2012. Now, I left in 2010, but half those players are the players that we recruited. Me and Jerry Mack, which is now the running back coach at the Jacksonville Jags. Yeah. So, I feel like I'm part of that national championship team, but I want my own too.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you, man. Got a big game coming up, first game of the season. You got a couple of teams that start off with SEC teams, Alabama A&M with Auburn, you guys with Arkansas. So, look, the best of luck to you this year, man.
Man, I appreciate it. And again, man, you guys do a great job. And we're gonna pray for continued growth for the SWAC and all of us to be able to do God's will and continue to shine.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to go over to the players from Arkansas, Pine Bluff, there with Charles Bishop.
Yeah, down here with Elijah Jenkins and Damon Dawkins. Elijah, we hear the enthusiasm from Coach Hampton, but from a player perspective, what is it that he has brought to the UAPB program?
Confidence, a will, a standard, and everything that we want to follow by. It was something that was bought that you already know that it was either that or the highway. So you have to understand the standard that he's trying to build, and it's not really that hard if you really have the will to play and you have the love to play football and you understand that leadership and everything goes with it. Kind of piece of cake.
Piece of cake. Damon, we were talking over here You guys are on a few people's homecoming schedules. Your thoughts on that?
Just, when that time comes, we're going to be ready. So, can't wait.
Elijah, what did you say?
By that time, by that week comes, it'll be already understood it was a bad choice.
It'll already be understood, guys. Back to you.
Oh, he said it's already understood it was a bad choice. Thanks a lot, Charles. Hey, we're going to take a timeout. More coaches got Bethune-Cookman, Texas Southern, Mississippi Valley, all coming up here in Birmingham. It's the 2024 SWAC Football Media Day. Back after this.
We are exactly what you think. We are not at all what you think. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. General Motors, honored to sponsor the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Get your grills out this summer with Pepsi, the official beverage of Grills Night Out.
Oh, that's dynamite.
It's not dynamite! Es dinamita. Go ahead. Try us.
When you join the HBCU family, you become part of the tradition of breaking barriers in your community, breaking ground in your career, and bringing it with everything you do. From how you look to how you move in the classroom, on the court, and on the field. That's why Academy Sports and Outdoors is proud to celebrate the HBCU legacy and all those to add to it in their own way.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
You can't handle the heat, Pops.
Dad, you're getting cooked out there.
Yes, Coach.
I'm sorry to say, you're being traded to Montana.
But I'm your father.
That's why this is so hard.
What team is in Montana?
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
Get your girls out this summer with Pepsi, the official beverage of Girls Night Out.
Is this what you want? These crunchy ridges?
Yes, Coach!
If you want to secure the bag, then step it up.
Does he know there's more Ruffles in the pantry?
You want these chips? Keep practicing.
Back here in Birmingham, it's the 2024 kickoff SWAC Media Day here in Birmingham. And now it's time to talk with Texas Southern's head coach Chris Dishman. We talked to Bubba McDowell. Both of you guys played with the Oilers, and it really is going to be an interesting game coming up when you two play the first weekend of the season. Two former Oilers playing in Houston, coaching colleges in Houston. I mean, look, you guys got to be getting calls all over.
Yeah, we are getting calls, and it's going to be a fun game. You know, Bubba and I, yes, we are friends, we are brothers, but we both want to win that game. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he can get his team up and ready to play, and I can get my team up and ready to play.
You had an extensive coaching background coming in. Of course, we know about your feats as a player. You did a lot of professional coaching as well. What excites you about this opportunity in the SWAC at Texas Southern?
Change, of order to make change. And I think so far this year we have made change. My players was required to do 24 hours of community service. Some of the guys got 60 to 65 hours of community service. So you can see the change is coming and the change is near. So that's what I'm most excited about, to see change. Now we have to turn around on the field, on the field. Because off the field, we had no issues. Everybody had a good spring. Everybody came back in the summer very positive and ready to work. Classroom-wise, they are exceeding far beyond than what I thought they will do. And now we just have to turn it onto the football field and see how that go.
Coach, when you come in and you talk about the requirements off the field, the 24 hours of community service, that seems to be one of the things that a lot of coaches talk about, is that you have to understand how important it is to give back to the community that you play and live in.
Well, we ask a lot of the community. We always ask them to give, but we have to be givers and not takers. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing, as a whole team, as a coaching staff, we have a lot of givers on our team. We don't have a lot of takers. And you're ready to give, that way you can receive.
Absolutely. Look at this team this year coming back. I know that there was a lot of work to do in a short time to do it. Let's start with the offensive side of the ball and what you felt you needed to do.
Well, I think offensively we got some good pieces coming in. We got some quarterbacks that's going to come in and push the quarterbacks that's already there. We got 2 receivers that came in that's going to push the receivers that's already there. So we're just all about showing what you do in practice, so therefore you can perform in the game. Mm-hmm. Because you start in week 1, I tell the guys, because you start in week 1 don't mean you're going to start in week 2. Everyone, each and every week, is fighting for their job. Every time I go through those gates, I fight for my job there at Texas Southern. So each coach, each player, we always fight for our job. Competition is good.
Mm-hmm. How do you hit the ground running, knowing that, you might, when you come in late and you might do something different, in the years to come, but you kind of got to work with what you have there when you get a late start. How do you look at that as your first year at Texas Southern?
Well, I challenge all the players that in order to become a family, we have to work at it. My first day on the job, my first week on the job, we wasn't a family. We was all individuals looking out for ourselves to try to get ourselves better. And I don't mind that. If the individual try to get himself better, then you're going to get the team better by getting yourself better. So you have to become, after we become just individuals, now we have to become a team. Then once we become a team, then we become a family. And that's what I'm pushing for, is a family atmosphere. Someone that you love and die for, that you will go head over heels and fight for. Because a team is going to just be a team for 2 or 3 years. But family, you can always be part of the family. You can always push and fight for each other each and every year.
You guys, Coach McDowell, both had a chance to work with young football players this summer and teaching kids about the game. What do you think the important factor that young people need to know about the game? Because in this day and age of the NILs and portals and all that kind of stuff, the purity of what is important about the game sometimes can get lost.
Yeah, it's high. We need high IQ guys. Not just making all A's in school, but football related. Football IQ is what you need. You can get a guy running a 4.4, 4.5, but don't have good football IQ. Or you can get a guy who runs a 4.5 and have high football IQ. Those are the type of players I'm looking for, because they know how to get themselves in position to make plays. And today's game is all about making plays.
What is a win for you and the Texas Southern program in your first year?
Well, winning the SWAC. That's a win. Winning the SWAC, winning Atlanta. That's our goal, to win the SWAC and win in Atlanta. That's our goal. I think I have reached my goal as a coach by having my players do exactly what I asked them to do. Each and every day I ask them to do something that they didn't want to do. I ask them to do something that you don't want to, so therefore you're helping others. The community service hours, the giving back, being able to be a team, be able to reach out to your teammates if you don't see your teammates there. Because it's always and will always be a player's game. And we as coaches, we just orchestrate where to put them and stuff like that. But the players who makes up the game.
Well, Coach, of course, the first game of the season against Prairie View A&M University. I know both of you and Coach McDowell, big competitors, but really is going to be something special to see two guys on the field, and you're going to have a lot of former of your teammates from New Orleans coming out to see you guys.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of teammates come out to see him. I don't tell Bubba. I think most of them are going to come and root for Texas Southern. So we can't tell, but see, Bubba already been on, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
he ain't. So he probably won't hear this. But yeah, a lot of the players are coming out.
Yeah, he's eating brisket right now.
Yeah. So a lot of players are coming out, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be good. It's going to be good for the city of Houston. It's going to be good for both programs. As far as recruiting, and I always said if Houston and the surrounding areas of Houston have so much talent there. If we can keep the guys in Houston and the surrounding area of Houston, have them come in the backyard and play at Texas Southern, then we can win a lot of football games because you can always go play down the street, but it's nothing like playing at home.
Absolutely. Coach, thank you so much for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right, Chris Dishman here
you.
at SWAC Media Day. Now let's take it to Charles Bishop, who are with two of the players from Texas Southern.
Yeah, down here in Santoria with Mehdi Torrance and Jacob Williams. Mehdi, talk about what Coach Dishman has brought to this program.
Yeah, Coach Dishman, he's brought professional help. He's brought he shows us really what it is to make it to the next level and to succeed as a young man.
Jacob, you guys were in a lot of close contests last year. You were able to trip up Alcorn down the stretch. But just talk about what it is you guys need to do to just get to the upper echelon in the SWAC.
Well, I feel like the main thing is we need to pay attention to the small details, focus on the small details, and starting fast and finish strong.
Guys, looking forward to those tour-a-days in the Texas Heat?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's a grind, but it helps us throughout the season. We get accommodated to it.
Yeah, like you said, I've been in it my whole life, so I might as well, get to work in it.
Back to you guys, Texas Southern Tigers down here.
All right, thanks a lot, Charles. Hey, we're going to take a timeout. We come back, got two more schools to go, Bethune-Cookman and Mississippi Valley, both on the clock. It's the 2024 SWAC Football Media Day here in Birmingham. Back after this.
Get your grills out this summer with Pepsi, the official beverage of Grills Night Out.
We are exactly what you think. We are not at all what you think. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. General Motors, honored to sponsor the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
You can't handle the heat, Pops.
Dad, you're getting cooked out there.
Yes, Coach.
I'm sorry to say, you're being traded to Montana.
But I'm your father.
That's why this is so hard.
What team is in Montana?
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
The SWAC, the premier athletic conference in the nation. A collection of schools rich in tradition, pride, and pedigree. Sacrifice, winning, allegiance, champions. We are the SWAC, building champions for life.
Back here in Birmingham, it's the 2024 SWAC Media Day as we get ready for the upcoming football season, which starts off week 0. And, of course, lots of great games, including the SWAC MEAC Challenge, which will be in Atlanta. And now joining us, head coach Raymond Woody from Bethune-Cookman University. Coach, how are you, sir?
I'm doing outstanding. And yourself?
Doing well. Well, Coach, look, new year. You got a lot of everybody has optimism, and a lot of it is because you got a new year, new players, new opportunity. And so, talk a little bit about some of the things that you guys did in order to get ready for the season.
Well, first, foremost, really thank administration for getting us that practice field. That's a game changer. It's going to save time, scheduling, all that good stuff for the student athletes, rest, transfer guys coming in. I mean, we did it a little different. We ended up signing several high school, players, and obviously people say, hey, those guys are not going to be ready. But we had several that signed mid-year, and that was with us in January. And then with the transfer portal, we got a couple holes, on offense and defense that we felt. And now the players, they understand what to expect. Coming in last year after signing, they didn't know your team didn't know you. This year, it seems like the players expect to win. They know what's going on, And I told them from day one, we want to eventually have a player-led team, and right now, they're showing that.
Absolutely.
Well, you got one transfer that went over well at your house, didn't you?
I guess so. I mean, he surprised us on Christmas. As a matter of fact, he told Senior before he told his dad. And I told him, I said, hey, in order to be a head football coach, you got to tell the head coach first what's going on. My phone blowing up, media, administration calling me saying, hey, is this true, your son, coming to BCU? And I say, I just found out just like you, so that's a funny story. Yeah.
That's how your children do you, man.
Yeah.
That's how they do you.
I mean, that's one of those things where you look at your kids, and no matter how old they are, they surprise you. Just like, what are you going to tell me about these changes that were going on?
Exactly. But, we're excited. Get a chance not to go home 1 o'clock in the morning to catch his games on the West Coast. So now I can see it real live, and having him, in the program is huge.
And he's a good recruiter for you as well.
Yeah, I don't know where he learned that from.
When you talk about recruiting, you say you did things just a little bit different, and you went out and you got some high school kids that signed mid-year. What are your thoughts on how you approach players that you get in the portal?
Well, I tell them honestly, we're not chasing the NILs, we're chasing the NFL. So if you want to come here, that temporary is the NIL, but if you want to have a chance to play in the NFL and have a chance and not get caught up in the instant money, then you can come and play at BCU. And we're going to build student athletes, and in 3 semesters, our coaching staff obtained, along with the players, a 3.2 GPA, and we sell that. We go out and find the right ones. And I think that's so important these days, finding the right ones that's going to help your program grow, because we don't have the extras, just like everyone else have. We don't need it right now, We've done a lot in the history of BCU with little, so we sell that, and we want the ones that want to be at BCU. We don't want to chase guys, for the extras that we don't have. So I'm really totally honest with them. Either you in or you out. You can't be halfway in. You can't be halfway out.
Yeah.
Coach, you guys finished 3-8 last year, but if you watch the games, there was always a moment where you guys were in it, and then something wild happens, and then you're out of it. What do you try to do this year to build off of those learning moments, if you will, and not make some of those same mistakes that took you out of some games?
Well, it's funny you say that, the mistakes and the formula for us, and we've been speaking about it ever since spring. Technique, fundamentals, attention to detail equals the coordination of the play. If you're a better technique, fundamentals, attention to detail, coordination of the play, then that result is going to be positive. And that's something that we must get better on, and we've been getting better on. That's anything you do. And then, offense, we got to run the ball, but it's going to come down to technique, fundamentals. We had 13 fumbles, 9 interceptions. I mean, those things come back to hurt you in crucial moments, and you lose the games that you lose a total of 38 points. So the game is about inches, and as a coaching staff, you can't blame the student athletes. I mean, we have to get better in those aspects.
Coach, you spoke about that practice football field and how it really changes things. Kind of get people familiar of what your practice routine was like and why this is so important.
Well, I mean, obviously the time. I mean, having 3 buses with different times of classes, going back and forth to Municipal Stadium. Now, you get an opportunity because of the hard work of administration putting this in place to have more time to rest, more time to do your studies.
Mm-hmm.
Practice time is practice time because you're dealing with NCAA care hours and all of that, but it's just so convenient. Now you get an opportunity to go to sleep a little earlier, than finishing practicing at 7 o'clock, then traveling to campus, eating, and then study hall. So those type of things, I mean, it's a difference makers.
Well, of course, Coach, you got always big games that you have on the schedule. You're going to be on national television several times this year. Best of luck this year, man.
Thank you.
All right. Coach Raymond Woody joining us here at SWAC Media Day. Let's go over to Charles Bishop with players from Bethune-Cookman.
Yes, down here with Travaris Hammond and Ray Woody. A lot of buzz around this Bethune-Cookman team this upcoming season. How excited are you guys to get out there and show what everybody has kind of been talking about?
Very excited. You know what I'm saying? You guys will be seeing, new Bethune-Cookman under Coach Woody, I'm pretty sure, like he said.
Ray, I'm going to ask you the proverbial question here. What's it like playing for Pop?
I feel like it's different. It's different from freshman year at Florida State. At Florida State I was younger, so you hear it all the time. Your parents gonna get on you all the time, just the little things, nagging, this, that, and the third. But getting a chance to go off on my own for a couple of years. My last year at Florida State and at Cal, I feel like I had an opportunity to grow a lot. You know what I'm saying? So now I know the expectation. Guys are looking more so at me to be that example, to be that leader. So it's been good. It's been a blessing, great experience.
Man, thank you guys. A lot of buzz around this Bethune-Cookman Wildcat team. They can't wait to get out there.
All right, Bethune-Cookman will start the season on August the 31st on the road against South Florida, in-state opponent for the Wildcats. We'll take a timeout. Our final team coming up next, and in our closing thoughts, Mississippi Valley is on the clock. It's the 2024 SWAC Football Media Day here in Birmingham.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
You can't handle the heat, Pops.
Dad, you're getting cooked out there.
Yes, Coach.
I'm sorry to say, you're being traded to Montana.
But I'm your father.
That's why this is so hard.
What team is in Montana?
The SWAC, the premier athletic conference in the nation. A collection of schools rich in tradition, pride, and pedigree. Sacrifice, winning, allegiance, champions. We are the SWAC, building champions for life.
Get your girls out this summer with Pepsi, the official beverage of Girls' Night Out.
Is this what you want? These crunchy ridges?
Yes, Coach!
If you want to secure the bag, then step it up.
Does he know there's more ruffles in the pantry?
You want these chips? Keep practicing.
We are exactly what you think. We are not at all what you think. We are past, present, and future. all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. General Motors, honored to sponsor the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Back here in Birmingham, our final team here at the 2024 SWAC Football Media Day. We're going to be joined by the head coach from Mississippi Valley State University, Kendrick Wade, entering his second year. Coach Wade, thank you so much.
Yes, sir. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, first of all, we got to talk about the new turf, man. That is a game changer for Mississippi Valley, and having that turf, I know it is a big difference maker for you guys.
No, man, it is. I mean, when you're talking about recruiting and just appeal, like kids love to see that. So, you know, we got the turf, but we also have the second largest jumbotron in the state of Mississippi. So we have both of those things going for us. So we're very excited about it.
Yeah, y'all clowning over there. I had a chance to see that jumbotron on social media, and it is really nice.
Yeah, it's huge, man. It's, you know, it's a little bit smaller than Ole Miss, but it's bigger than Mississippi State, Southern Miss, and the other schools there. So we're excited about it.
Absolutely.
So physically, like, how much faster can you be on turf? Like, is there a tangible, like, can you just look out there and see your guys like, oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at our grass was yay high. So, of course.
So that valley grass was a little different.
The valley grass is a little bit different. So, yes, I mean, you'll see guys moving at a much faster rate than usual on that field. So it's going to be a much faster surface than it's ever been.
That's awesome.
What is your recruiting philosophy like, is getting players into Mississippi Valley?
So philosophy-wise, we want kids who love football. Not the ideal football. We want kids who love just to go out and play football. You know, not the Twitter and all the other things that come with it. So we always ask those penetrating questions to see how much you love football, not the appeal of it, not all the great things that come with it. And we attack up front.
Yeah.
O-line, D-line. You know, if you guys go look at any games we played last year, it wasn't the skill guys. It was the O-line, D-line that looked a little bit different than the other schools in the conference.
You know, one thing I liked about you, to hear you talk after every game, even though you didn't get the wins like you wanted, the standard was still the standard for you every week.
Yeah, man, and it's like that because when you true to the process, it allows you to stay in that moment. You start talking about winning and losing games. When you start losing games, then it makes you kind of veer away from what you were standing on. So that's why we always talked about just the standard. It keeps you consistent with your approach.
Coach, you know, you look at your schedule, first 4 games on the road, 5 out of 6. You start off at Tennessee State. You guys will be road warriors by the time October comes.
Man, what a great opportunity for us to go to these different states and put our brand out there and be able to plant that flag in these different states. So we're excited about it. It's going to prepare us for SWAC play without a doubt. So we're going to be battle tested. We should be ready by the time we get to SWAC play.
Yeah, and your first home game couldn't be bigger, Alcorn.
Hey, man, against somebody I call my cousin. We grew up together. Coach Thomas and I grew up in Cleveland, raised together, spent many nights at his house. He even stayed at my house, so we were really close. So to open that game up, SWAC game at home with the new facilities, new turf and everything, man, it's amazing.
I think that Tennessee State game is going to be a crazy atmosphere because they love when they get to play an HBCU. It's, you know, kind of split for them being in the OVC. That's going to be a good platform to kick off the season.
That's what you want. You don't have to get these kids motivated, excited during fall camp, knowing the first game will be at TSU in Nissan Stadium, you know. So, yeah, we're going to be we'll be ready for that one for sure.
When you take a look at your quarterback room, we've been talking a lot about quarterbacks today and just, you know, how different quarterback rooms will look this year. Talk about yours.
So mine is I think we're in probably one of the better places in the SWAC as far as quarterback. We played our true freshman. He started 8 games for us last year, and he made a lot of mistakes, a lot of freshman mistakes, but we lived with those bumps and bruises, and we understood the bigger picture. You know, we knew it would be tough, and we were okay with that. So, you know, he's light years ahead of where he was last year. There were moments he came off the field last year. He looked like an 18-year-old wide-eyed freshman, but, again, he done seen everything in his conference, so I think he's going to be ready to take a couple steps forward.
Can you see the difference in that maturation in, is it film study? Is it what he's doing on the field? Like, where do you see the maturation in him?
Processing information. You know what I mean? You just see him just being able to just see something, and pre-snap he able to recognize certain things that he couldn't do last year, was moving fast for him. So now you see this guy, he know where to go with the ball, you know. So when the ball is snapped, he know where he's going with the ball.
On the other side of the football, on defense, you know, I know one of the things that you have told people about is how you want to get faster. You want to make sure that you guys are running to the ball. But the other thing is how you defend and recovering from mistakes and things.
Yeah, here go our biggest thing defensively. I guess holistically as a team, whenever we made a mistake, it became a snowball effect. And that's the difference between winning and losing these games, because if y'all go look at it in the games we played, going to the fourth quarter, we were right there, you know, but something bad happened, then another bad play, then at the end of the game you lost by 2-3 touchdowns. So, man, just kind of just highlighting those things, and we've been able to create a clip for every time we watched every single game, and now we have a clip of all these plays, so when something bad happened, we show these kids, this is the bad play, and this is how we responded. Now they're in a position to where they can see that, correct that, and I think it's going to give us opportunity to be a little bit better with these outcomes.
Yeah, one of the things I was going to ask also about is you guys got an all-conference tight end that's got some great hands.
Pound for pound, I think one of the best players in the conference. He's 6'4", running 4'5". He got the strongest hands I've ever seen. And, you know, I done coached some guys. Got some guys in the NFL, CFL. He's up there with those guys for sure.
It seems like a season you're excited about. Like, not everybody's excited about it, of course, but excited about the potential for your team.
Well, y'all got to think about it. You know, last year we built this thing off of hope. You know, we was hoping we can win. We were hoping we can be successful. We done went through it. Now we believe it. You know, guys believe that we can win. You know, we went into games. We hope if we do this right, we hope if we can do that, then we're going to give us a shot. Now guys believe because we've been there. We wasn't a really good team last year, honestly, but we were right there, and we've improved that roster. I mean, it's like night and day, particularly up front. We had to go get better offensive linemen. We had to go get better defensive linemen. So we got those guys in. So we believe we're going to have a shot against anybody we step on that field with.
Well, Coach, good luck this season. Again, you got 4 home games at Mississippi Valley. The first one at home to open up the new turf, new stadium, and that big jumbotron against Alcorn in October. So good luck on the season.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys, man.
All right, head coach Kendrick Wade joining us here on the set. Let's take it over to Charles Bishop joining the players from Mississippi Valley.
Yeah, down here with Kerrick Ross and Jordan Bussey. It'd being a native, LaFleur County kid, you're a receiver at Mississippi Valley. You know, there's a standard. World Rice, Joe Thomas. But talk about year 1 and year 2 of Coach Wade in terms of how you guys have grown.
I think we've grown a magnificent bit. See, with this being our second season in this system, we're more comfortable. I expect for us to be more efficient.
Sure thing. Jordan, you anchor the defense. When you take a look at some of the personnel on the defensive side of the ball, how excited are you?
Very excited. We got a lot of guys that can go out there and fly around and swarm to the football, man. We're excited to put it on the field, though.
This Delta fan base, they love Mississippi Valley State University. You guys got to put on a show for them, man.
Always.
No doubt about it. Down here with Mississippi Valley State players Kerrick Ross and Jordan Bussey here on SWAC Digital.
All right, thanks a lot. And we're going to take a final timeout. When we come back, we'll close things up from here in Birmingham, the 2024 SWAC Football Media Day. We'll be back.
Get your grills out this summer with Pepsi, the official beverage of Grills Night Out.
Oh, that's dynamite.
It's not dynamite! Es dinamita. Go ahead. Try us.
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
The SWAC, the premier athletic conference in the nation. A collection of schools rich in tradition, pride, and pedigree. Sacrifice, winning, allegiance, champions. We are the SWAC, building champions for life.
Get your girls out this summer with Pepsi, the official beverage of Girls Night Out.
Is this what you want? These crunchy ridges?
Yes, coach!
If you want to secure the bag, then step it up.
Does he know there's more ruffles in the pantry?
You want these chips? Keep practicing.
We are exactly what you think. We are not at all what you think. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. General Motors, honored to sponsor the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
You can't handle the heat, Pops.
Dad, you're getting cooked out there.
Yes, coach.
I'm sorry to say, you're being traded to Montana.
But I'm your father.
That's why this is so hard.
What team is in Montana?
SWAC Football Media Day here on the SWAC Digital Network, brought to you by the following fine sponsors. Academy Sports and Outdoors, the official sporting goods retailer of the SWAC. GM, proud sponsor of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. The Home Depot, proud sponsor of the SWAC. And Pepsi, the official beverage and partner of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. And by Nike. About to close things out here in Birmingham, 2024 Southwestern Athletic Conference Media Day. You see where they're breaking everything down?
Those are the people that ate our food.
Yeah, everybody, you know, hey, just telling you, you know.
Look at them.
Happy.
Look at that. Look, who's that right there? Can't even button it up. Is that Coach Sims? Can't even button it up. Coach Sims ate all our food.
We're going to go over some of the games that will be coming up, some of the classics that will be coming up in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. As we know, it's a great part of HBCU tradition. Of course, we start out with the SWAC MEAC Challenge, which will be in Atlanta, Georgia. And that will be, of course, the first weekend of the season. And you got Norfolk State and Florida A&M August 24th.
That's a lot of green.
Yeah, that's a lot of green.
Oh, it's very, very green. So that'll be coming up. Cricket MEAC SWAC Challenge kickoff. That will be coming up. And that'll be the first weekend, week 0, as a matter of fact.
And that FAMU alumni base in Atlanta.
So we pull the curtains back on the new FAMU.
No, on the new FAMU, absolutely. I think we're here in Birmingham, Alabama. We're skipping ahead a little bit, but here in Birmingham, the biggest game here that they celebrate is the Magic City Classic, and that'll be between the Alabama A&M Bulldogs and Alabama State, and of course, always a huge game here.
I mean, you don't have to hype this one.
No.
It doesn't need any marketing.
No marketing whatsoever, and both teams are right on the cusp of taking that next step forward.
Well, Alabama State, they said is going to win the East.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
The prognosticators.
We all know about November. November is the time of the year where that could be where the West is decided, and usually it's Thanksgiving weekend between Grambling and Southern at the 51st edition of the Bayou Classic between the Tigers and the Jaguars.
Yeah, Chuck, you and I last year were going back through all the scenarios of what could happen. I don't think there's a situation where the outcome of the Bayou Classic does not impact the finality of the SWAC West.
Or yeah, that game always has something on the line, whether it's Grambling or Southern advancing. But we've seen now that it comes down to that weekend where somebody is going to go to.
It could be a tiebreaker between
exactly.
Two teams that you don't care what the records are, but at the end of the year, it's about rivalry weekend, and that is Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman. You talk about two teams that battle it out. It doesn't matter who's got the most wins. This is all about who can win that game.
No, you can't pick the Florida Classic. We've seen years where FAMU was the dominant team and Bethune wins the game. And you've seen years where Bethune was the team and FAMU pulls the rug from underneath them.
And very interesting, you talk to a lot of people around podcast outlets around here. Everybody is really high on Bethune-Cookman, so that's going to be a very interesting game.
Absolutely. One of the newer games this year, well, not a new game, but it will be in Mobile, and that will be between Jackson State and Alabama State University.
Yeah, I mean, you got the team that's picked to win it. You got the team that a lot of people want to win it. They're picked third, and that's a really cool town down in Mobile. There's a lot of magic of their own in Mobile. That's sure. We can't have a Jackson State conversation without your 2 cents, Joe.
It's going to be very interesting. By the time we get to that game, will we see different quarterbacks for both teams?
It's possible.
So I think that's a question that's a lot of people are asking in terms of has a quarterback emerged on any one of these rosters?
And, of course, we end the year with, first of all, the SWAC championship game. This year, the two participants of that game won't get a week off between then and the Celebration Bowl, but the SWAC championship game will be hosted by the team that has the better record.
I mean, just think, if you come out of the SWAC West and you happen to be a team there that wins the SWAC championship, just think about the schedule that you have leading up. Leading up to get there.
Yeah, I think we'll hear a lot of Pepto-Bismol comments around that time.
I mean, seriously. I mean, think if it was Grambling or Southern. I mean, to go through the Bayou, then have to play in the
SWAC championship,
and
then. Yep, and then, of course, whoever wins the SWAC championship will play in the Cricket Celebration Bowl, which this year will be December the 14th in Atlanta, Georgia. It will be a week earlier because of the expansion of the Division I playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything expanded. NFL, they put 2 games on Saturday. I mean, you got the Ravens playing, you got the Chiefs playing. Man, you don't want to compete with that.
The changing landscape of sports. I mean, that was the weekend that you had to have. So
yeah, that's
the
where you had
Ravens,
to go.
Steelers, that alone.
That's enough. Exactly.
Yeah, that alone, you got to change that. So it'll be the Cricket Celebration Bowl. Florida A&M defending national champions. Will they be able to get back there a second year? Only time will tell. And of course, when you look at the preseason picks as far as the number 1 team in the East and the West, I don't think there was a ton of surprise in the East, Alabama State.
Well, I mean, I would say surprise from the standpoint that FAMU, was the defending champs. They signed a lot of people in the portal. Quarterback, we don't know. That'll be determined. So in Tallahassee, I would say there was some surprise. But with Andrew Body landing in Alabama
That's
State.
what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew Body landing in Alabama State, but healthy chips on the shoulders in terms of fan bases of Tallahassee, Jackson, even Huntsville. Everybody was like, what? Those are all the texts that I got.
Look, they got one of the top running backs coming back.
Exactly.
You got a coach that's been there 7 years. And look, Coach Maynard did not pull any punches when he talked about his offensive linemen and some people not getting first team selection. So they're keeping receipts.
I was about to say they're keeping receipts. Exactly.
And finally, of course, on the western side, the number 1 predicted team will be Alcorn State, and then of course the Prairie View A&M Panthers. That showdown there between those two teams is going to be huge.
I like Grambling. I think Grambling has a lot of potential.
If you take a look at it, they're the team that is bringing back the starter, that was in the upper echelon last year in the SWAC. But Prairie View, my goodness, they've been knocking on the door now for the past few years. For them to be second and Alcorn kind of leapfrogged them in people's minds, that's very interesting to see.
You want to know the team to watch? Southern. with that defense that they have coming back, Kelby Givens at the forefront of that, and that they can stay healthy on offense and really find the quarterback that they want to, that could be a sleeper team that could cause some folks some problems.
Let me simplify this for you. We don't have a telestrator, but play at home with me. The top 4 teams there will be in it until the final week. UAPB is going to be better than you expect. They're going to upset the apple cart for some people. Texas Southern is going to be a little better. We'll be halfway through October looking at the West like, I have no idea.
You have no idea what's going to
I have no idea.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so that's the predicted order of finish in the Western Conference. Well, that will about do it from here in Birmingham, Alabama. Guys, if you what's one take that you take away from our media day here?
I think that it continues to grow. Look, it's the last couple of years, we saw a super explosion. Deion Sanders was at Jackson State. But there has not been a fall off. There's plenty of media members here. You see all the tables. You see all the excitement. I think the brand of the SWAC continues to grow, and it has solidified itself as the leader in FCS football.
Yeah, I'll echo those sentiments. The brand of SWAC has continued to grow, and I think there is excitement with the parity in the league, a lot of new coaches in the league, a lot of fan excitement. There will be new quarterbacks, and this is a quarterback league. So, and I think there'll still be a gift basket for some programs come late July. Somebody's going to show up on your doorstep, and that could be the difference.
How many coaches, assistant coaches, were head coaches in this conference, and now are assistant coaches with teams? You look at Fred McNair with Southern. You look at Everett Todd with Southern. You look at Eric Dooley at Grambling. I mean, you look at all of these teams that have had former head coaches that are now assistant coaches on these teams. I think that brings a very different dynamic to the coaching level this year because you've got some guys that have been at the helm and understand what it takes.
I think it's just a preseason at least, of unpredictability because there's so much new. When you have this much newness, if you will, at the head coach position across the league and the quarterback position. I mean, you look out the SWAC West, 4 of the 6.
Yeah.
4 of the 6, yeah.
Is their first year as head coach at that particular program. We wouldn't have thought that 12 months ago, but here we are.
Yeah, absolutely. This will be exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, that will do it for our broadcast crew here. Thank you so much, James Crenshaw, the entire crew here, for everything that they do for the conference office. Of course, for Tali Carr, Charles Bishop, I'm Santoria Black. We will see you in about, 5 weeks from now as we get ready for week 0 of the 2024 Southwestern Athletic Conference season. Until next time, always remember, one nation, one people. Peace.